Well, that feels better. I don't know what to say. What is up, everybody? Nick Fiore, Fiore Station YouTube channel, right here on YouTube.com. This, ladies and gentlemen, is your review for WrestleMania 37 night number 1. WrestleMania 37 night 1 taking place at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida on Saturday, April the 10th of 2021, folks. Now, I want to make something real quick. Two things, actually, maybe three. Well, pre-recording this video was gonna go live, but just pre-recording this, but decided to pre-record this last minute. But anyways, also, I apologize for not doing the SmackDown review. I know with WrestleMania 37 Night 1 review video, pre-recording this and uploading this hopefully gets uploaded before night to today. But I know I was supposed to do the SmackDown review, the SmackDown Before Mania Go Home show, the SmackDown review for that. I know I was supposed to do that video. Yes, on yesterday, April the 10th of 2021. But on Friday, April 9th, I actually got my second shot of the COVID-19 vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine. And and this happened like Friday night, and then I just couldn't even feel my left arm, just like the first Pfizer shot. Had just felt fatigued, and then yesterday, Saturday, all day just had a big freaking headache. Felt like I was just dying. I just felt like shit, and it's just felt like shit with a headache all day, man. It's like I want to do a wanted to do the SmackDown review, but I didn't want to give you a half-ass, and it's like I don't know if I could even get through it with this fucking headache I had yesterday. But good news, I feel a lot better, much better than I did yesterday, and thank God this COVID and the COVID vaccine shots. Thank God that's over. So I'll be fully vaccinated in a few weeks, but thankfully the COVID shot stuff, thank God that's over. Thank God that's over. Also back with me for the first time in a while, Adam. He is back. Welcome back, Adam. I know he hasn't been on here for a while, and unfortunately, if you follow Adam on Twitter, a few weeks ago, unfortunately, Adam tested positive for COVID-19, unfortunately. But how do you feel now, Adam?
I'm feeling well. I'm doing well. Everything is well. I also took my COVID-19 vaccine shot. It ended up being pretty well as well. It ended up well. I did not suffer a headache.
Yeah, I mean if you get the COVID shot, you'll feel side effects, which I did yesterday. Had a big headache, just felt like I could feel like you're just dying with a headache, and I just took Tylenol, but it was just a big fucking headache yesterday. But I feel much better I feel a lot better than I did yesterday. It was like it's like night and day. But yeah, people, COVID is real. If you're not vaccinated yet, wear a mask, social distant, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, and get the vaccine. May get side effects, but it's worth it. But very, very happy but very glad Adam's back. I know he hasn't been on here for a while, then unfortunately tested positive for COVID, but he's feeling a lot better now. Very happy to have him back here. And we're going to kill it here with the WrestleMania 37 Night 1 review. We're going to kill it here. So get your seatbelt strapped in, get them nice and strapped, get yourself an ice cold beverage as well while you're at it. It's going to be a real good one. So get on ready, folks. Get on ready. So might as well get started with the review for WrestleMania 37 Night number 1. The show started off. Now, there was some bad weather last night in Tampa, some thunderstorms and all. The show
was delayed.
Yeah, the show was delayed because there was a big thunderstorm, but tonight, night 2, there's possibility they could delay it. But reading the updated weather, it could still go on as planned. Hopefully, it does. And earlier this morning,
maybe
for
WrestleMania Night
those in
1 went on as
Tampa,
planned.
and for those in Tampa, I think they lost power earlier this morning. Then they got it back just now. Thank God. So good for them that they got power back.
Yeah, I mean, I did not. I mean, there were reports that WrestleMania 37 Night 1 could have been canceled because of
Yeah,
the weather, but it still continued on. Everyone was safe.
thank God
So
it
if
happened.
it did not, so if it did not force WrestleMania Night 1 to get canceled, it's not gonna happen to Night 2. The show will continue. I mean, we will have a delay. We will have a delay. We'll have around 40 minutes without a match, and we'll see some promos, but it will be the same thing. The show will continue on, and then after 40 minutes, we'll have our first match.
Yeah. Now, with limited capacity, though, even with limited capacity and last night's Mania Night 1 and tonight's Mania Night 2, I expect it definitely to be limited capacity, which it will be. Even with limited capacity fans last night, that crowd was pretty decent last night, I would say.
Yeah, they were alive during the show.
And
This was the first
time
Mania
and fans back at a wrestling show for the first time for a WWE show in over a year.
in over a year.
And I'm hearing rumors that they're going to be in a new Thunderdome. I think it's Yuling Center. Correct me if I'm wrong. University somewhere in Tampa. It's not the Tropicana Field because the Tampa Rays are starting their MLB season pretty soon. I think. In fact, now I think.
Yeah, they're gonna move to a new stadium or new arena for the Thunderdome.
I think it's Yuengling or something University. It's in Tampa, but there's going to be a Thunderdome. I'm hearing rumors of that until probably at least August, and they'll probably have fans back, live fans back, probably by August around SummerSlam this year. So we'll have to endure 4 more months of the Thunderdome shit. And listening to the live crowd last night, like, how do you sit there and say it's like Thunderdome shit? It's awful. The piped in noise, it's like, listen to the Thunderdome piped in noise and look into the live crowd reaction last night.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and that live crowd was just, they were good last night, and was happy to see live fans back for the first time in over a year.
Yeah, well, we should get live fans at the WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And we should get in fact, realistically, if you're asking me, we should get the live fans back at Monday Night Raw next Monday after what we've seen at WrestleMania. We're going to see tonight as well, WrestleMania Night 2.
Yeah. According to rumors that I've read, looks like unfortunately we're getting 4 more months of Thunderdome. The sooner it's done, the better.
The Thunderdome, man.
I can't wait for them to be. But I can't wait for shows. I can't wait for the shows to be touring again.
4 more months of watching fucking clowns and geeks on the Thunderdome
virtual
screen.
Geeks, just the fake piped noises. It's terrible. It's not the same. It's really not.
Yeah,
the
who
same.
I don't feel sorry to, the virtual idiots, the virtual geeks, who I do not feel any sympathy to, signing up for the Thunderdome, knowing that you'll get the same shows every week,
every Monday night with Raw.
Yeah.
So they also announced during the show, WrestleMania 38 2022 next year apparently is going to be in Dallas, Texas next year in April 2022. There should definitely be fans back by then, probably at full capacity.
I think they announced it like 2 months ago. They announced it 2 months ago that it will be in Dallas.
Yeah, they did it 2 months ago as well. Even they announced 2 months ago in advance WrestleMania 39 in 2023 in Los Angeles at the SoFi Stadium, which that location was supposed to be for Mania this year.
But unfortunately, the pandemic has to ruin most good things in wrestling.
Right now, though cases are going down though because of the vaccines, but yeah. So the live crowd just energetic. They were good all night. Vince McMahon and all the wrestlers like in a high school assembly stage. Vince is in the center. He welcomes fans back. Vince and the entire roster were on the stage actually. Vince then says that they just want to thank the fans and officially welcome everyone back to WrestleMania.
Coincidence?
What happened?
Coincidence that it's Vince McMahon open WrestleMania? And he welcomes the fans back. Yeah, as if he missed them during shows.
Yeah,
As if
kind of.
he
Yeah,
missed them.
yeah. So,
Which
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he didn't.
no, not
Because
at
the
all.
only
But
one he cares about, because the only thing that he cares about is himself and the almighty dollar, and whoever
yeah,
sucks his right and left testicle.
yeah. Though I did see
Yeah,
Rhea Ripley
but you
when the
do
camera
know.
shot with her having tears.
Yeah, with Drew McIntyre when he entered and having tears, they had fans, and now that he was once again in front of live fans.
Yeah, you could see Rhea Ripley on the stage last night in tears with fans back.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Um,
do realize that wrestling fans are crucial to a show and are
Fans
needed
do truly
in
make or break a show. Without fans, it's not the same.
yeah.
Fans do truly make a show because without them, if you're a wrestler without the fans, you don't get paid and your boss doesn't get paid.
Yeah.
So,
And your shows are dead without wrestling fans. And without wrestling fans, your shows are dead.
and look at last year's Mania with no fans compared to this year's WrestleMania. I know it's been night one in the books, but not night two yet, but still.
Yeah, that crowd was alive during WrestleMania night one.
Even at limited capacity, and they did this with the Super Bowl this past February. They had cardboard or cutout like fans. You could see them for night one last night, and they'll be the same thing with night two. They did that for limited capacity. At first, Vince wasn't too fond of that, but then Vince started to slowly change his mind, and I'm glad he had the cutout fans for limited capacity. I'm glad he did that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, why would he not?
I can't wait for fans to be back at full capacity.
Yeah, hopefully very soon.
Yeah. And then we had like some America the Beautiful play as well.
Yeah, I didn't mind that one bit.
I'm trying to remember the name who played America Beautiful. It was decent.
Yeah. So it's a good way to start off WrestleMania with the Vince McMahon and the roster.
Then they had the intro talking about WrestleMania and such, and the intro and all after America the Beautiful, which was really nice.
They had everybody doing almost promos backstage. Because after the live concert, after Vince McMahon cut his promo, there was a delay.
And then after that decent WrestleMania intro after the America the Beautiful and such, then they Michael Cole and Byron Saxon, I think.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah. It was Samoa Joe. It was Michael Cole, and it was Byron Saxon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They then are on the announce desk and they announced that the WrestleMania main card has been delayed due to the thunderstorms in Tampa. So they had then to kill time. They had all these wrestlers come out saying they're happy to be back in front of fans. And in fact, I read a report during the show last night that they unscripted these guys. Yes, they actually unscripted all these guys who the guys who cut a promo before during this weather delay during WrestleMania Night 1 last night during the beginning of it.
Yeah, you could see. Yeah, but we wish we would see more unscripted promos on WWE programming.
This was actually a nice. This was actually nice for a change. In fact, they should do this more often. Less scripted, the better.
Yeah, the more unscripted on WWE programming, the better.
And I think Paul Heyman didn't. And didn't Paul Heyman say weeks ago that he wanted less scripted when he was still Raw executive director?
Yeah, and Vince McMahon refused.
Yeah, just like enough with the scripted promos. Just give them bullet points and trust them to do the right thing. Just give them bullet points.
Yeah. Why would you script guys to say lines that nobody will find funny?
Like heel Roman Reigns is a tribal chief. If you're not going to script him, you're definitely not going to script Paul Heyman, and you're not going to script Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. A CM Punk promo, you're not going to script a CM Punk promo.
Yeah.
There's no way you're scripting a CM Punk promo.
No.
The less scripted, the better. This was nice for a change with these people going unscripted during the weather delay. Though this weather delay, there was like thunderstorms last night in Tampa, and you could see Samoa Joe and Michael Cole in their ponchos and such. And we had to wait 45 minutes for the first match on Mania Night 1 last night to begin last night. You can say fuck the Tampa weather for that.
Yeah, I think remember Vince McMahon versus God at the 2006 Backlash pay-per-view?
Yeah, wasn't it a handicap match? It was Shawn Michaels and God versus Vince McMahon in a handicap match.
And Shane McMahon.
And Shane McMahon, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they have God do like a dancing gimmick or whatever, from what I've heard?
I think.
That was late April of
Yeah, I
06. It
think.
was the Raw exclusive pay-per-view Backlash 06.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Is God jealous of Vince McMahon? So he delayed WrestleMania.
I don't know. It's a mystery to a lot of people, dude. It really is, but it's anyone's guess, man. But anyways, you could say fuck the Tampa weather for delaying WrestleMania for the first 45 minutes. In fact, I think they had a pre-show at 7 as well. There were no pre-show matches. They had JBL Peter Gunzenberg on a pre-show. That clown Peter Gunzenberg who says, don't watch Dave Meltzer, watch Busted Open Radio or Busted Show Radio. Go watch Sam Roberts and such.
Oh.
What a clown is Peter Gunzenberg.
Yeah, big clown.
Yeah.
Why was there even a kickoff show to begin with? Why was there a kickoff show?
It was like 1 hour kickoff show, and there were no kickoff matches. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, why was there even a kickoff show if there was going to be no matches?
Yeah. They so they unscripted these guys during the weather delay. They had Shane McMahon being interviewed, talking about Braun Strowman. Sarah Schreiber was interviewing Shane McMahon and MVP and Bobby Lashley.
And Drew
McIntyre as well. Yeah. McIntyre actually ranted about the match happening tonight, no matter what happens with the weather.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was Kevin Owens and New Day.
Kofi and Woods. I think New Day is Biggie with them as well.
Yeah. You had Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks cutting promos backstage. I think
and Braun Strowman as well. Braun Strowman, yeah. he was hyped as well. Though I make fun of him.
Yeah, well, did AJ Styles cut a promo backstage with Big Jordan?
Yes, he did.
He did. So AJ Styles and Big Jordan were almost cut a promo backstage.
Yep. Seth Rollins as well. Seth Rollins as well.
Yeah.
He was talking about Cesaro, Miz and Morrison.
Unfortunately.
They had Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan, who were the WrestleMania hosts. They had them both walk out on the stage and officially open the show. Titus O'Neil says, after a year, they are back. Hogan then says the people didn't hear O'Neil. O'Neil says it again with more feeling. Hogan then puts over McIntyre and Lashley. And actually, Beba Rexha was actually the one that did America the Beautiful. She did decent. But then Hogan and Titus introduced Lashley McIntyre, and we get the opening match of night 1, WrestleMania 37 for the WWE Championship. Go ahead.
Well, before you say something, Titus O'Neil got a big reaction from the Tampa crowd.
And he's from Tampa, and isn't Titus's hometown Tampa as well? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a big reaction.
And happy for Titus too for the Hall of Fame too, by the way.
Yeah. Titus, he got a big reaction from the crowd. Hogan, not so much.
Oh, but Hogan's a big name in the business, man.
He may be a big name in the business, but who wants to see him host a WrestleMania in 2021?
Oh, that's right.
Nobody.
So, hey, stop telling these legends like Hogan what to do, man. They can do whatever the hell they want. They want their one last moment in the sun, man. Here's a hard pill to swallow, Hogan and you aging legends. Your career is done.
Yeah, you're finished. You should be in a retirement home.
Yeah, exactly. But Titus O'Neil got a big genuine reaction, and happy for Titus too. Though I make fun of him with Titus catering and all the other goods and all and such. But happy for Titus though. Seriously though, with the Hall of Fame induction, with the Warrior Award. Happy for Titus. That I do have to admit. So Titus and Hogan introduced the first match of night 1 the WWE Championship match, Bobby Lashley with MVP versus Drew McIntyre. So Drew was actually the first one to make his entrance back for the first time in front of fans in over a year. Drew McIntyre,
this is exactly what he wanted.
Drew actually had the sword entrance in this, and the fire and pyro went off. Not pyro, but the fire thing. That was really cool. And Drew got now. Some people said he got some cheers, but he also got some boos, like a mixed reaction, but it was mostly cheers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Drew got a decent reaction in front of fans, and you could see the tears in Drew's eyes. You could tell he was so happy to be there.
Yeah, he was so happy that he was back with fans.
You could tell. And they gave him, and he did the sword entrance, which was a sign which Vince let Drew do, and that then Lashley. So after Drew makes his entrance, Lashley then makes his entrance. They have the lightning thing go off, and they have Lashley make his entrance with MVP by ringside. They had so then they introduce the champion and challenger. Then Lashley and McIntyre, they lock up and collarable tie up. Neither man gets the advantage. However, Lashley then locks McIntyre on his butt on his ass after shoulder block. Lashley with a leapfrog, but McIntyre does a belly to belly. McIntyre lands in a few strikes. Lashley fires back. McIntyre with a clothesline to Lashley over the top rope. Lashley by McIntyre. McIntyre follows. Lashley drives McIntyre into the barricade. Lashley tosses McIntyre around outside the ring. Lashley then starts to work over Drew. Drew sidesteps Lashley. Lashley slams his shoulder into the ring post. Arm DDT by Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre then, this was never seen before. Now, this was never seen before by Drew, and I've never seen this before from Drew, and this was nice. Drew does the arm DDT and does a transition like sequence with Drew locking in a cross arm breaker on Bobby Lashley. So that was nice. Lashley escapes this and rains down with some lefts and rights to break the hold and in mount position to break the submission. Lashley then sends Drew into the corner. McIntyre explodes out of the corner and lands at a clothesline. Drew lands multiple belly to bellies. So Drew did a lot of belly to belly suplexes tonight. Might as well call Drew belly to belly suplex city now. No offense to Brock Lesnar and Suplex City, but you know.
Yeah.
Leaping neck breaker from Drew McIntyre. Drew then kips up and sets up Lashley for the future shock DDT. Lashley avoids the move, however. Northern Light suplex by Drew, which I do like the Northern Light suplex, but Lashley kicks out. A near fall. Lashley then hits his C4. McIntyre kicks out. Glasgow kiss by Drew. Lashley responds with a nasty one-armed spine buster. McIntyre kicks out. Lashley then tries to hurt Lock. McIntyre fights him off. McIntyre then hits his reverse Alabama slam, which looked impressive on Bobby Lashley for a guy Lashley's size. Drew is freaking strong, man. I do have to say, man. Drew is freaking strong, man. He is no pushover. He is absolutely no pushover. Like Drew, he could lift a big guy up like he did to Lashley. Love that reverse Alabama slam.
The guy can lift up a 7-foot guy, for God's sake.
Yeah.
The Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Drew does a really good reverse Alabama slam. So he does this to Lashley, and Lashley kicks out at 2. Near fall. McIntyre then goes for a superplex, but Lashley crotches him on the top rope. So then McIntyre is then in the Tree of Woe. And you know what happens then after Drew is in Tree of Woe, usually with McIntyre's matches.
Tree of Woes?
Yeah, when Drew's in the Tree of Woe, usually in his matches, Drew sits up and he suplexes Lashley over the top rope with grabbing Lashley by the neck and the belly to belly.
Right.
Off the top.
Yeah.
McIntyre then goes for a Claymore, tries to 3, 2, 1 with the Claymore. Drew goes for a Claymore, but Lashley turns it into a one-arm spine buster again. One other one-arm spine buster from Lashley. McIntyre kips up And so McIntyre no-sells it. So earlier in the match, McIntyre like no-selled the shoulder block. Then he no-sells the one-arm spine buster from Lashley. McIntyre just kicks up after the one-arm spine buster from Bobby Lashley. And Lashley was stunned.
Yeah.
So after McIntyre kips up and he tells Lashley to bring it, come on. And McIntyre says, bring it, bitch. McIntyre says this to Lashley. He tells Lashley, bring it, bitch. Then McIntyre and Lashley then are trading strikes with each other. McIntyre then, and this was one of the highlights of this match. Drew McIntyre hits a future shock DDT, rolls through, second future shock, rolls through, a third future shock, like almost like a triple verticals 3 amigos, but with the future shock DDT 3 times from Drew McIntyre. So this was pretty nice. I've never seen this from Drew. A triple verticals 3 amigos future shock DDT. Really good stuff. Go ahead.
He hit it in the match against Bobby Lashley.
Yep, he hit this on Lashley, and Lashley still manages to kick out. Yeah. McIntyre then tries for another Claymore kick, but Lashley rolls out of the ring. McIntyre then is running the ropes, and he hits a Tope Suicida, taking out Lashley, and MVP does Drew McIntyre. Tope Suicida from Drew McIntyre, man.
Yeah, both Lashley and MVP. That was amazing.
That was. It definitely was. So MVP and Lashley are taken out. Drew dives off the top. So Drew dives over the top. It's top a suicide on Lashley and MVP. Does McIntyre. McIntyre then dives off the top, but Lashley catches him and almost locks into Hurt Lock. McIntyre struggles. Lashley then hits a fisherman suplex or a T-bone suplex. Lashley then tries to lock in Hurt Lock again, but McIntyre drives Lashley into the top turnbuckle. McIntyre rolls Lashley into a double wrist lock. And then Drew in this match, he was going for a Kimura lock, shades of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, shades of Brock Lesnar there. But I think Lashley was going for
Go ahead.
Well, was he going for a suplex or what? Bobby Lashley. Then he was reversed into the Kimura.
Well, he went for the Hurt Lock, but McIntyre drove Lashley into the top turnbuckle. Did McIntyre. McIntyre then rolls Lashley into a double wrist lock like Kimura lock. And I thought from here Lashley was going to tap. He was close to tapping. But luckily he manages to reach the bottom rope to force a rope break. And from this Kimura, I thought it was...
In the last second, Bobby Lashley reached the bottom rope.
Yeah. So Lashley forces a rope break. Then Lashley McIntyre trade some strikes with each other. Then MVP yells at Lashley to warn Lashley that McIntyre is going for the Claymore. So Drew is setting up for a Claymore. MVP distracts Drew. And
this is the ending of the match.
Yeah, this is the turning point of the match. So Drew's setting up for a Claymore kick on Bobby Lashley. Drew gets distracted by MVP. He misses the Claymore. Lashley locks McIntyre in the Hurt Lock. And McIntyre starts to fade, but McIntyre starts to get back to his feet, and he tries to go to use the second turnbuckle to roll out and reverse out of the Hurt Lock, but Lashley doesn't let go of the hold. And McIntyre just ends up passing out. Referee calls for the bell. Bobby Lashley retains and wins and retains the WWE Championship. Now,
that was a good match.
About this match, I want to be honest. We want to be honest with you guys. I was genuinely shocked that Bobby Lashley retained here. I really was.
Yeah, everybody generally was shocked when Bobby retained.
I think, honestly, Drew McIntyre, was everybody's odds-on favorite, honestly, to win this match in the title here. Because Drew won the title last year in front of no fans. I thought Drew would win this match in the title here, but they didn't go that route.
I was shocked, bro. I was legitimately shocked that they give Bobby Lashley the victory, especially after what they've done in the last few weeks with him.
Yeah, exactly.
With him breaking up with the Hurt Business and trying to put a bounty on Drew McIntyre. Like, come on now. The guy did not even need to beat. The guy did not even need anybody to help him win matches. Why would he need someone to help him now all of a sudden? I know you broke up the Hurt Business. You have Baron Corbin show up on Monday Night Raw while he's a SmackDown wrestler to try to collect a bounty. Come on now.
Yeah.
So at this point, everybody thought that Bobby Lashley from that point was going to lose the title to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, I like Drew McIntyre. I do. And he got a decent reaction from the fans tonight. So did Bobby Lashley. Both guys got a decent reaction. And now, two things. I'm glad this opened the show and not Sasha and Bianca. We'll talk about that in a while in the video, but Lashley McIntyre, this was actually not as bad as I was expecting it to be. This was actually not a bad match at all. In fact, I think this was better than their Backlash match from last year.
Well, this was always going to be a good match. I mean, they had the last one. They had a good one. Why couldn't they have had another one here?
Yeah. In fact, I think their match at Night 1 Mania 37, I think their match there, that match there was much better than their Backlash 2020 match, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
now,
I could say the same.
Now, and I like Drew McIntyre as well. Don't get me wrong, but I think Lashley retaining, actually, I think that's the right move. It looks like they're giving Lashley a legit title reign, which I'm happy with.
Why would you? And they were building him up all year, was Bobby Lashley. Why would you build him up all year to win the title, only to lose it after a month?
Exactly. And Lashley was booked perfectly in 2020 with the Hurt Business before they broke them up a few weeks ago, but looks like they're giving Lashley a legit title reign, and I'm okay with that, man. I really am.
Hopefully, reign, or hopefully,
now,
because with Monday Night Raw, you don't know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, hopefully they gave him a legit title reign, but with Monday Night Raw, you don't know what to expect.
Exactly.
With Monday.
Now, what I hope they don't do is Lashley and Strowman. We'll talk about Strowman in a little bit, but Lashley Strowman, I hope not. That would be terrible. Now, what I would do for SummerSlam this August for the WWE Championship, Raw program over the WWE title this August at SummerSlam, Lashley versus Lesnar. Do it.
Just do it.
Lashley returned to WWE for one reason only. He wants Brock Lesnar. Give the man what he wants.
Yeah, he wants. Yeah, but there's a question mark here as well. Before SummerSlam, who is there as a babyface to face Bobby Lashley?
Exactly.
For the WWE
you have Damian Priest, but he's not there yet. You could do Keith Lee, but get him back on television.
Well, Damian Priest, they're high on Damian Priest, but
we'll talk
he's
about
not
him in
ready
a little.
yet.
We'll talk about him in a bit, but
yeah. Well, he's not ready yet for a world title match. Well, at least not yet. I mean, maybe you could save his first title match next year or at the end of the year if they want to.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy.
They could do Jeff Hardy, but they're not using. They could do Jeff Hardy, but they're not using him right now on Monday Night Raw.
The guy's a loser on Monday Night Raw since the draft.
Yeah. Matt Riddle, Matt Riddle, he's the U.S. champ unless Sheamus wins the U.S. title tonight on night 2.
Yeah, but you can't have Matt Riddle challenge for the WWE title after losing the U.S. title. It makes no fucking sense. Aleister Black is the guy.
Sheamus and Lashley, we've seen it before. Aleister Black, though if they do a shakeup or draft the shirt to WrestleMania, they move Aleister Black to Monday Night Raw.
But what has Aleister Black even done to earn a WWE title match at this point?
Exactly.
He's not even a Raw super. The guy hasn't even been on television since October, and he's not even a Raw wrestler.
Yeah, unless they do a draft or shakeup the shirt for WrestleMania, but I do agree with you. They could do Finn Balor, Adam Cole, but Triple H had a press conference after TakeOver Stand delivered not long ago. He said Balor and Cole he said Adam Cole and Finn Balor are here to stay.
Yeah. So Adam Cole and Finn Balor, they're not going to go to their main roster.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah, well, who could blame them?
They're not going to Monday Night Raw anytime soon. I don't blame them whatsoever.
Yeah. Like Ricochet? What has he done?
They could do Ricochet, but he's too busy making chocolate cupcakes with cream filling and Titus Catering.
Yeah, the guy's been a loser for his entire run on the main roster. Why would you give this guy the WWE title when he's been lose, lose?
Exactly. Now, if they would have gave Drew the title, who's there to fight Drew? It's like, you got to think. If you give Drew the title, you're going right back to square one.
Yeah, well, same thing with Drew McIntyre. If he had won the WWE Championship, which heel is he going to face after WrestleMania? Braun Strowman?
Fuck no. I don't want to see. Nobody wants to see that.
You really think people want to see Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship?
Not something that I want to see. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre versus The Fiend. Oh my god,
that should not even be a conversation. Same thing with Lashley. No. That should not be a conversation. Period.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin.
Please,
God, no. I hope not. Nobody wants to see Baron Corbin challenge for the WWE title.
Nobody cared about their match on the Raw before Mania. What makes you think they're going to care about it again with Corbin versus McIntyre?
Yeah, and the Raw after WrestleMania, not the Raw after WrestleMania. It will be the Raw after WrestleMania next Monday. But the Raw before WrestleMania, Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre were in the main event, and that show did a 1.7 million viewers.
Yeah.
This is what you want out of your world title program?
Come on,
this is what you want. No. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre?
We've seen it how many times already?
No one wants to see that again.
Lashley Orton, that does not interest me at all.
Randy Orton's gonna lose at WrestleMania to The Fiend. Why would you have him challenge for the WWE title? Why would you have him challenge either Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley for the title after WrestleMania? Makes no sense.
Exactly. There's legit nobody on Raw outside of Brock Lesnar.
Keith Lee? Where is he?
Unless they bring him back, but
yeah, but where's Keith Lee to challenge Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship?
Exactly, and he's not injured either.
Yeah, the guy could come back anytime soon now. He's not injured or anything. Just put the guy on television.
Yeah. Lashley needs fucking challengers. That at this point, I'd risk Adam Cole and Finn Balor getting called up just to give Lashley fucking challengers.
Yeah. Legitimately, there's nobody on Monday Night Raw outside of Damian Priest to challenge Bobby Lashley. And he's not even ready yet.
He's not there yet. He needs a little more time. Yet. Then put him in there in the WWE title picture on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, he's not ready yet. You could put him in the title picture. I would
honestly, with Damian Priest for Money in the Bank this night, I'd put Damian Priest as one of the participants in the men's Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, along with Keith Lee.
I wouldn't necessarily. I'm not saying give Damian Priest the brief. I'm not saying give Damian Priest the money. I'm not saying give Damian Priest the briefcase for the men, but put him in the match.
Yeah, at least let him show what he could do in the main event scene soon. You could play the seeds for what he could do in the main event scene on Monday Night Raw.
And he has potential.
Yeah. So if you look at the things aside here on Monday Night Raw, there's more questions than answers on who's going to face Bobby Lashley after WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Because there's no baby faces for him to face on Monday Night Raw.
John Morrison, if they turn him babyface and break him away from the Miz, we'll talk about that in a bit. But something.
Yeah.
Something.
Anything.
Also, and didn't you want to say this as well before we move on to the next part of night one? Couldn't they have done this better with Drew going into Mania as a champion instead of Lashley?
Yeah. Now, with Bobby Lashley winning it, this was the plan all along. Why wasn't this his win of the WWE title? Why wasn't this where he won the WWE Championship?
Yeah. Yet you'll get clowns on social media, on Twitter. Oh, but Lashley winning the title a while ago, that was a good moment on Monday Night Raw, man. Look, as good as that was, would it have been a lot better if it was Lashley winning the title instead at WrestleMania night 1 last night?
Yeah.
The Miz cashing in at this year's Elimination Chamber, that could have all been avoided.
Yeah, the Miz, what they should have done, they should have had the Miz fail to cash in. Or they should have had Bobby Lashley cause a disqualification.
Yeah. Drew should have never lost the title this past February at the Chamber. Drew should have never lost that title there.
At least if Drew McIntyre was the champion at WrestleMania and you had him retain Elimination Chamber and he goes into WrestleMania as the champion, you could have had two legit guys go at it, two bulls going at it with credibility, and Bobby Lashley could have won the championship. He could have been the heel that taken out Drew McIntyre and won the WWE Championship from.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better. And if that would have happened, McIntyre would not have been fucked over twice with the title. But no, the Chamber this past February, you decide to give the title to the fucking Miz, only for him to lose it 8 days later on Raw. Only for him to lose it 8 days later on Monday Night Raw to Bobby Lashley. All that could have been avoided easily.
That could have been.
That did not need to happen at all.
Or they could have done another thing at WrestleMania. They could have done Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and Drew McIntyre face Sheamus. And you have Drew McIntyre face Sheamus at WrestleMania. And you would have had Bobby Lashley beat Brock Lesnar, and you could have built it up Drew McIntyre by that point to face Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam to win back the title.
Exactly. Lashley, Lesnar, WWE title, Drew and Sheamus non-title, Matt Riddle versus Keith Lee for the U.S. title. Boom.
Legitimately.
Why do we book shit better, but Vince, Bruce, and Dunn can't? Why do we do their job better than them? And we don't even work. Why do we book who's going to participate in the Money in the Bank ladder match better than they can? Or how come we book shit better than Vince, Dunn, and Bruce do?
It's unbelievable.
And we legit work for free.
Yeah, legitimately.
Unreal, man. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me, but Lashley retains here. I honestly think it's the right creative decision with Lashley retaining.
Yeah, but still, it could leave more questions than answers. Who does he face after WrestleMania? Well, you could do a Superstar Shakeup. Exactly. You could do a Superstar Shakeup after WrestleMania. If I'm honest, I would do a Superstar Shakeup and draft some guys from SmackDown or NXT to Monday Night Raw just to give the guys some challengers.
Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't trust Raw with Shinsuke Nakamura, but at least give Lashley some fucking challengers.
Yeah, something.
Kevin Owens, I know he loves to switch brands, but at least give Lashley fucking chat. But again, at least give Lashley some fucking challengers.
Yeah, some challengers he could beat. Yeah, face to lose the title and build the other guy up.
Exactly.
Something.
Yeah. At this point, I'd call up Karrion Kross at this point just to give Lashley fucking challengers.
Yeah, legitimately.
You know. Anyways, but. So Lashley retains against McIntyre. This was a good match, though. But I absolutely agree with you, Adam, on what you're saying. So then we get. Go ahead, what?
The right opening match. The right match.
Definitely right opening match. And I'm glad Lashley McIntyre did not main event. If they would have main evented, this would not have gotten the same reaction.
No. If this was the main event, Bobby Lashley would have lost the championship to Drew McIntyre.
And Drew would have been booed out of the building, and Lashley would have been cheered over McIntyre.
Yeah,
they made the right decision. They made the right decision by having Drew and Lashley open the show instead of Bianca and Sasha.
Yeah, which we'll talk about later in the main event when we go.
Yeah. So Lashley beats McIntyre to retain the WWE title. Lashley retains. Then we go backstage with Bayley. She walks into the NWO and Titus O'Neil. Bayley tries to do the too sweet, but. But none of them were having any of it. X-Pac actually says that he's actually a big fan, so he gives her the too sweet, and then everyone else just walks away, including Hulk Hogan.
I think Scott Hall, give Bayley the too sweet as well.
Yeah, Hogan didn't.
Yeah, Kevin Nash didn't. I wonder if he was going to tear his squats because of it.
Yeah, and Hogan didn't even bother. Oh, but Hogan is not the guy to play politics, man.
Sure.
Yeah. So then we get.
Like what?
Go ahead.
Like what the fuck did he even do that a WrestleMania host does? He does the usual typical Hogan things that you expect him to do.
Like that.
Whether it's with the with the NWO or the red and yellow Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
The usual typical Hogan. Yeah, he does the usual Hogan promos and then
Typical
goodbye.
Hogan pandering. Typical pandering Hogan.
Yeah, pandering and promos of Hulk Hogan and then goodbye. He's off of television till the next time they give him a phone call to appear on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. So then, moving on, we then get the probably, undoubtedly, the worst match of the show of night one, tag team turmoil match. Women's tag team turmoil match with the winners getting the women's tag title match against Shayna and Nia on night 2 WrestleMania. We had
worst match on the show.
Yeah.
Or you mean a match that will go down in history as one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history?
Yeah. We got Lana and Naomi start the thing. We got them making their entrance. Then out comes Billie Kay and Carmella. We had and I don't even want to waste much time on the side down. Billie Kay and Carmella. Billie Kay is so fucking terrible. She actually makes Carmella look like the fucking Rock, and I'm not shitting. And I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding.
Oh my god.
Billie Kay is fucking awful.
Billie Kay, WrestleMania. Billie Kay is awful.
There is even some spots where Billie Kay missed her spots. I think even Lana and Naomi, it's like Billie Kay's up there and trying to make Naomi look fucking bad.
Billie Kay is so bad that she actually makes Lana look like her husband in the ring.
Rusev or Miro, yeah.
Yeah, she makes Lana look like Miro.
There were spots in this thing, in this whole women's tag team world, that Billie Kay, it's like she missed to take a bump, or she just her selling is Billie Kay is so bad. She is terrible. Billie Kay is cosplay wrestler. She pretends to be wrestler. Billie Kay needs to just quit the business altogether.
Oh my goodness. How is she even on the WrestleMania card? Yet you could not give Bayley a match on WrestleMania with Carmella. Why wasn't that Bayley in her position with Carmella?
Oh, but Billie Kay's attractive, man. She's not even that attractive.
How does even Billie Kay have a job to begin with?
How come Billie Kay has this spot but not Peyton Royce?
Yeah. How do you have her on WrestleMania, Billie Kay, over Bayley, which she could have teamed up with Carmella in this match? They could have won this thing.
Over Bayley and Peyton Royce.
Yeah.
And like I said, Billie Kay, I swear to God, she makes Carmella look like Mr. Perfect or The Rock. Seriously. Oh my God.
She makes, yeah, I even said it as well. She makes Lana look like her husband Miro in the ring.
Billie Kay is fucking awful. And they had Lana surprise Kay with a head scissors into a Russian leg soup. Carmella and Kay get a cheap win on Naomi for pinfall with the sticking the foot out for cheating to win.
Well, Carmella cheated. Well, Carmella put her, she rolled up Naomi, and then she put her foot on the ropes.
Yeah. Either way, Billie Kay is awful. Either way, Billie Kay is awful.
Can we say this? Naomi is a loser on Monday Night Raw after what we've seen.
Can we move Naomi to SmackDown, get away from Lana, turn her heel, and put her with Roman Reigns?
Just listen as well. Just listen as well to the reaction that Naomi got from the fans. Yeah. Look at the reaction that she got. She was over.
Yeah.
She was over. And you have her lose? You have her lose in this match. To be the first one out of a tag team turmoil match that did not even deserve the time it got on the WrestleMania card.
No.
If there is a shakeup or draft, take Naomi away from Lana and move her to SmackDown.
And turn her heel and put her with Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Paul Heyman.
She deserves better than this. She deserves better than what she's getting.
Yeah. Yeah, no questions asked about that.
Unreal.
So Naomi and Lana are the first women's team eliminated. Out comes the Riot Squad. Carmella and Billie Kay are beaten down on Liv Morgan. Morgan and Riot hit a double knees senton bomb for the pinfall. Well, actually, it was Billie Kay on top of Liv Morgan, but Ruby Riot does a diving senton, and Billie Kay is pinned and eliminated. Goodbye, Billie Kay.
Nobody's going to miss you on the card. You did not, in fact, you did not even deserve to be on the
in fact,
WrestleMania card.
in fact, can we get Billie Kay off of fucking SmackDown and replace her with somebody else who's a lot better than her?
Yeah.
Billie Kay's fucking terrible. To imagine being a company and you're employing Billie Kay. That is one of the biggest wastes of money.
Yeah. A waste of a fucking payroll.
Absolutely.
In fact, after that match, half of these women should get fired. Or 4 of them should get fired. If there's a roster cut.
Yeah. So Carmella and Billie Kay are then eliminated. Then Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke come out. Now,
before the
yeah,
oh my God.
When Mandy and Dana were making their entrance down the ramp, Mandy, I understand it's Tampa Bay weather, but Mandy Rose actually slipped. This will forever haunt Mandy, and this is forever a meme. People will never let this go. Dana Brooke
my God.
Rose were making their entrance last night, night one, down the ramp. Mandy Rose actually slipped.
She slipped during her fucking entrance. Oh my God. Oh my God. This was, somebody caught it and he make it a GIF on the internet.
And on Reddit and anywhere that you can make a GIF. Tenor.
Man, this will be a GIF. This will be a GIF for many, many years. You remember when Titus O'Neil at the Greatest Royal Rumble, when he was running to the ring and then he slipped? And it's still a meme. The
Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia 2018, where he just slid right underneath the apron.
Yeah, and it's still a meme to this day.
Yeah.
Mandy Rose and her
slip. Haunt Mandy Rose.
Yeah, this will be a meme. Mandy Rose slipping on the stage. This will be a meme in many years to come.
Oh, but that's okay though for Mandy Rose, man. That's okay. For Mandy Rose.
That's okay. You want to see a moment?
You do realize this will forever haunt Mandy Rose.
This will be the one thing that they will look back on her career when it comes to WrestleMania. Her slipping on the stage.
You find no problem with that?
It's impossible. How are you a wrestler and you get this played as a meme on social media and you're fine with it?
Awful.
Unreal. It's unreal.
And Dana Brooke, by the way, is Miss Catering.
Yeah.
And at this point, Mandy Rose is catering 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
At this point. So, after Mandy Rose slipped with her entrance, Dana Brooke hit a blockbuster for a near fall. Ruby Riott kicks out. Rose hits a superplex on Morgan. Dana Brooke falls out with a swanton, which did not look good. Then it was 1-2. Morgan reversal into a roll for a surprise pinfall. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke eliminated. Now, Greg Hamilton said the Riott Squad's been eliminated. Then he had to be corrected, saying Mandy and Dana were eliminated. This was a fucking mess. This was a fucking mess.
How was this on pay-per-view? I have no idea.
How come this was on here on night 1, but not the SmackDown Tag Team, but not the SmackDown Tag Team title match? The SmackDown Tag Team title match was actually a lot better on the SmackDown Before Mania than this match. That was a lot better than this match right here.
How is the SmackDown Tag Team title match not even a WrestleMania? How do you
The SmackDown Tag Team title match was much better than this match last night. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, how do you have your SmackDown Tag Team champions, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler? How do you have the Street Profits and the Mysterios?
And Otis and Chad Gable.
Yeah. How do you have them all? How do you have these 4 teams not on the WrestleMania card? But you want to put the 5 women you put on the WrestleMania card. Or 4 of them. Or 4 tag teams from the women that did not even deserve to sniff WrestleMania.
5 women's tag teams in this women's tag turmoil match. Only one legit team and only one legit women's team in this match, and that's the Riott Squad. That's it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The rest are not even a team. So then Mandy and Dana get eliminated. And then Natalya and Tamina are then out next. Tamina and Natalya are double teaming Liv Morgan. Riott and Morgan manage to hit their finisher on Tamina, but Tamina kicks out. Tamina super kicks Liv Morgan. Tamina and Natalya hit a heart attack on Riott. Natalya's about to go for a sharpshooter, but Natalya changes her mind and she tags and tells Tamina to go up top. Tamina hits a Superfly Splash for the win. The Superfly Splash looked terrible. Riot Squad's eliminated, and Natalya and Tamina are then advanced to night 2 to face Shayna and Nia for the women's tag team championship on night 2. 2 nights of Tamina. Who asked for that?
Nobody. You could give us 2 nights of Tamina, but you could not give Jeff Hardy 15 minutes on WrestleMania. You could not give Bayley. You could not give Bayley 15 minutes or 20 minutes on this WrestleMania card. You couldn't give Aleister Black. You couldn't give Andrade, Cien Almas, when he was still in the company. You couldn't give Angel Garza. You couldn't give Keith Lee. You couldn't give those guys WrestleMania matches that they deserve. You couldn't give Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin WrestleMania matches. But you wanted to break them up for Bobby Lashley and have them lose the Raw Tag Team titles to the guys who just recently lost the Tag Team titles, to AJ Styles and Big Jordan.
Awful.
Which we will talk about later as well.
Yeah. Awful. Now, I do want to say this. Riot Squad looked decent, but I said this from the beginning. Riot Squad or bust. I said it. Riot Squad looked decent, but they should have won this match. Who's going to care about Natalya and Tamina versus Shayna and Nia? Absolutely nobody. Not a single fucking soul. Not a single soul.
How is the women's tag team titles even still a thing in this company? Just abolish the titles.
The main roster women's tag title should have went to NXT. And I guarantee you, Triple H had every intention to give Dakota and Raquel those main roster women's tag titles and have those main roster women's tag titles be in NXT permanently. I guarantee you, Triple H had every intention to do that, to have Raquel and Dakota win those titles.
But you know who did not want that to happen?
Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, and Bruce Pritchard, because Daddy Vince doesn't want NXT to embarrass Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
You won't convince me
otherwise.
Because Vince doesn't want his baby Raw to get embarrassed by NXT. That's all it was, and you'll never convince me otherwise. Go ahead.
Yeah, you mean to tell me Vince McMahon. So let me get this. Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, Bruce Pritchard, and whoever is on Monday Night Raw Creative that suck Vince McMahon set their balls. You mean to tell me that Tamina and Natalya are the right team to beat Nia and Shayna?
They're not. Oh, but they've been winning a lot, man. Who cares?
Who gives a fuck? Nobody wants to see Tamina on their television screens.
No.
At this point, just abolish the women's tag team titles. Just abolish them. How are they still a thing?
And can we talk about? It's like, now I know we'll talk about Bianca and Sasha in a bit. How about Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, instead of like break them up without one of them turning on each other, have them in the SmackDown Women's title hunt?
Legitimately.
The Riot Squad don't need those women's tag team titles and women's tag team division.
In fact, look, my fucking tissue right there, my fucking tissues right there are more prestigious and important than the women's tag team titles.
Yeah. My sake cup with karate right here. This has a lot more value and prestige than those women's tag team titles. Burn the women's tag team titles. Have Kane, 2021 WWE Hall of Famer, correct? And Kane, have him come back and burn the women's tag team titles, Hellfire and Brimstone.
Yeah.
But it's like the Riot Squad. They don't need those women's tag titles. They don't need that. They don't need that women's tag division. They should have won this women's tag team turmoil. But it's like, at this point, the Riot Squad, they don't need those tag titles. They don't need that tag division. Just break them up without one turning on each other. Like, you know how they did with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura? And we'll talk about Cesaro next, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Do with Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, the same it's the same that you did with Cesaro and Nakamura without them turning on each other. Break them up without them turning on each other. And put Ruby and Liv in the SmackDown Women's title hunt. Just do it. The Riot Squad doesn't need those women's tag titles, the women's tag division. They don't need them. Burn the women's tag team titles, for God's sakes.
Burn them. Just fucking burn them.
Yeah, exactly.
How are they still a thing? I have no idea.
The women, and Sasha and Bayley were the inaugural women's tag champs for the main roster. Then the Iconics won them at Mania 35. And then after that, the main roster women's tag titles, they were never, ever the same after that.
Never the same.
The main roster women's tag titles. They were never the same after that. Moving on. Moving on. Next match, and this was probably the best match of night one, in my opinion. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. So,
Rollins. Or
the clown,
who
Seth
we
Rollins.
would call.
Or we'll talk about him after we talk about this. Well, after
Yeah, who wants to
the
say
move with this match here, we'll talk about that. Believe us, guys. Believe us. We'll talk about that. So Seth Rollins makes his entrance. He has new theme music. I see.
Yeah, he has a new theme music, but he still kept down his burn. He still kept his burn it down.
Yeah, not sure what I think about his new theme music though, but at least he kept his burn it down quote. But
yeah,
so Seth Rollins makes his entrance. He didn't come out to a clown attire.
Yeah.
So Seth makes his entrance. Cesaro makes his entrance. Cesaro actually got a decent reaction here, a good reaction.
Yeah, he got a big pop.
Yeah, definitely got a big pop. So then the bell rings, and then as soon as the bell rings, Cesaro goes right after Seth. Cesaro goes right after Seth with a running European uppercut. Cesaro then goes for the Cesaro swing, but Rollins avoids it. He tries to avoid it every which way he could. Springboard European uppercut from Cesaro. Rollins goes up top. Cesaro drop kicks him. Cesaro then tries to suplex to Seth off the top, but Rollins rolls through and turns it into a buckle bomb. Rollins with a superplex on Cesaro, and then immediately transition to a Falcon Arrow, which I love. Love this superplex Falcon Arrow. Love that move. Love it.
Yeah.
Cesaro kicks out. And then Cesaro unloads on Seth with strike after strike. Cesaro turns Rollins inside out with a discus lariat. Rollins kicks out. Cesaro then tries for the swing, but Rollins turns it into a pin. Rollins goes for the stomp, but Cesaro reverses it into the swing. Cesaro swings Rollins 9 times. Cesaro then locks Rollins in the sharpshooter, but Rollins gets to his feet. Rollins sends Cesaro into the turnbuckle. Cesaro re-injures his arm. I think it was his right arm, Springboard knee from Seth Rollins. Seth goes up top and hits his corkscrew frog splash. Now, this was nice. This I've never seen before. Now, when Seth was on top, I thought he was going to go for his Phoenix splash, but he went for a corkscrew splash, which I've never seen before from Seth Rollins, though. This looked nice.
Yeah, this looked awesome.
And Cesaro kicked out at a corkscrew frog splash. So we got Drew showing off new moves, and same thing with Seth. Like this, something you like to see.
Yeah.
So then Rollins tries the ripcord knee, but Cesaro reverses it into a neutralizer, but Rollins kicks out. Rollins then
kicked out.
Yeah, Rollins kicks out.
Yeah, the neutralizer. He kicked out of the neutralizer first.
Yeah. And then Rollins surprises Cesaro with a pedigree. Cesaro kicks out. Seth hasn't used the pedigree in 4 years. Triple H does a better pedigree over Seth.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good with Seth. So then Cesaro kicks out of the pedigree. Rollins elbows Cesaro in the back of the head. Side kick by Rollins where he has like the kick right to the back of the opponent's head that he did to Shinsuke towards the end of Shinsuke versus Seth at Fastlane this year. That kick from Seth, which looked nasty.
Yeah.
Then Seth is talking trash at Cesaro. Then Rollins tries to go for a curb stomp. So then Seth goes for a curb stomp, but Cesaro launches. So then a curb stomp. Seth goes for a curb stomp. Midair European uppercut right from Cesaro. And like Seth was talking trash, I kicked out a neutralizer. I survived the swing. And then Seth is talking trash. So Seth is talking trash like that to Cesaro. Seth runs ropes, goes for a curb stomp, midair European uppercut from Cesaro. And then this was the highlight, probably the highlight of the match, and probably highlight of night one, WrestleMania 37. Cesaro does a UFO, right? Cesaro does a UFO.
Yeah.
Cesaro does UFO on Seth Rollins, and Cesaro uses Cesaro's doing it with no hands. He does a bunch of like a spinning UFO, a bunch of spin repetitions with Cesaro using no hands while doing the move. I marked the fuck out.
It's unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Cesaro did this so effortlessly, dude. He's like,
the guy's from another planet. It's Cesaro. He's from another planet.
This was freaking amazing.
He's not a human being. He's a walking cyborg.
Yeah. So he's doing this to Seth. He does this a bunch of times to Seth. Then he does this to Seth. Then Cesaro goes for the Cesaro swing, and he does it 23 repetitions over 22. And then a neutralizer and 1, 2, and 3. And Cesaro, his first big WrestleMania match ever, defeats Seth Rollins. This was an excellent match.
That was excellent. Was the right outcome.
Cesaro winning was absolutely the right move. Seth Rollins absolutely did the right thing by putting over Cesaro. Seth did the right thing by putting him over. And Cesaro got a real good reaction. Now, hey, Seth, I thought you said a while ago that people don't like to cheer baby faces, Mr. Rollins.
Well, Cesaro was a baby face, and he got cheered.
I thought Rollins, and wow, I thought Seth said that people, I thought Seth, and wow, man, I thought Seth honestly said that people don't like to cheer baby faces, and according to Seth, like Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley and MSK and Io Shirai and Cesaro. Next time you say stupid shit like that, Seth, shut the fuck up, you clown.
Yeah. He should never do interviews, period.
Seth just sucks at social media. He comes off as a little crybaby bitch.
Yeah.
What a clown, Seth Rollins. But Cesaro, Seth Rollins, very good match here. Cesaro winning was the right outcome. And one loss to Cesaro it's not going to hurt Seth in the long run. It's not going to damage Rollins. He's bulletproof.
Yeah, Seth Rollins is a made man in the company.
Seth didn't need this win here, and Cesaro needed the win more, and I'm glad he did. This was absolutely the right move. And listen, and this match was excellent. Probably, now, this was probably the best match of night one, in my opinion. Probably the best match of night one, in my opinion. And listen to the crowd reaction Cesaro got as well, Adam. If they don't push,
WWE should be very careful here. They should be
listen
very
to the reaction Cesaro got. Look at the match with Rollins last night on night one. If they don't push Cesaro after this, everyone in that writing team needs to be fucking terminated.
Vince McMahon needs to be terminated from his position. Kevin Dunn and Bruce Butcher need to be terminated from their position.
Yeah. Listen to that crowd reaction for Cesaro last night and watch the match as well. How do you sit there and say, oh, Cesaro doesn't deserve to be pushed. He doesn't have what it takes to be that top guy level. How do you sit there and say that?
Yeah. It's impossible. Just look at the reaction.
Cesaro deserves a push. He deserves a push.
He deserves to be pushed into the main event after tonight.
Yep. And if Roman retains tonight on night 2, if that's the case, and Roman's going to need some. If that's the case, and Roman's going to need some challengers. Why not do Roman Reigns and Cesaro in a SmackDown program over the Universal title, and you have those two feud for about until going into SummerSlam, and Cesaro wins the championship. And now I've said, and we've all said, you and I have said it, and people in the Shove It Squad Twitter group chat, we've all said, or most of us have said, Roman Reigns should never lose that title. In fact, he should hold that title all of 2021 and he should hold that title until Mania 38, where he drops it to Cesaro or Big E. In fact, if Cesaro, now we've said most of us have said that, but if Cesaro if Cesaro were to beat Roman Reigns for that Universal Championship, I would be okay with that.
Yeah,
and it's not going to hurt. And even if Roman wins it back, it's not going to hurt Cesaro or Roman. It'll hurt neither guy. And with Roman Reigns, like, you know how he's the Golden Glove. Like, Roman these days, anything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah, anything Roman touches these days, he'll make it work.
You think he's not going to make you think Roman's not going to make Cesaro look good? He would absolutely make Cesaro look good.
Yeah.
Cesaro versus Roman, I do not mind that at all. In fact, do it. Do it.
Let's do it. And
in fact, have them feud for about 3-4 months have them feud until SummerSlam this August.
Yeah.
Roman's going to need challengers. Why not do it? Pull the trigger.
Yeah. You want Roman to get heel heat? This is what you do. You put Cesaro against Roman Reigns.
Exactly. No reason to not give these guys a 4-month build till SummerSlam.
Yeah. There's no reason.
Pull the fucking trigger. Pull the fucking trigger. This was a very, very good match here with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. This will probably go down as probably the best match of night one, if not the best match of the night one.
Not the best.
What?
If not the best.
Yeah. And this match, I think a lot of people were looking forward to, and this match definitely delivered.
Yeah.
And Cesaro's first big Mania match, I'm glad he won. That was what needed to happen. I'm glad they did it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they capitalize on it. If they don't, everyone in the writing team needs to be fucking fired. Cesaro deserves to be pushed. Cesaro deserves a big push after this. And the main event, not the tag team division, and not the mid card. Cesaro needs to be in the main event with a push. Cesaro needs to be pushed in the main event, not the tag team division, not the mid card. If you're not going to put Cesaro in the Money in the Bank this May, have him give Cesaro a push in the main event. He deserves it. He's been there for 10 years. Yeah. He's long overdue. No reason to not push this guy in the main event. No reason to not push Cesaro in the main event.
Yeah, really he has been in New York for over a decade. He's given his soul. He's given his soul at a decade of his career to you. How do you not reward him?
He's been so loyal to. He's pretty much been loyal to the WWE for a decade.
Yeah, even this year, when there was a report that his contract was gonna expire in April, he resigned.
Yeah, didn't he resign a few months ago? And if you're gonna resign the guy, push him. Hopefully, this is a sign of things. Hopefully, this is a sign of things to come. And now, after he wins, do you think he leaves? I doubt it.
No, he was already negotiating a new contract even before the reports came in. He was already negotiating. Or he may have signed already a new contract before the report came on.
It looks like he did. And after this big one over Seth, I doubt I don't see him leaving.
Yeah, he's not going to leave anytime soon. The guy has been in your company for a decade. Push the guy already.
I think he's way long overdue. Everyone wants to see him get pushed. Listen to the crowd reaction for Cesaro last night. Listen to that reaction.
How do you not push this guy after tonight? After WrestleMania?
Push Cesaro. Push Cesaro.
If Cesaro is not pushed after WrestleMania, the creative team, whoever is writing SmackDown, the lead creative writers, need to be fired.
Do you think Daniel Bryan's an influence with Cesaro with this thing? I would not be surprised.
I will not be surprised. You know, it's not Bruce. Well, Vince. Vince is okaying it. Well, Vince is okaying it. He's okaying it. But yeah. Bruce, he will not have done a thing like that.
No.
If this was Bruce booking Cesaro, he would have him lose to Braun Strowman.
Yeah. I would not be surprised. Yeah, absolutely agree with you, Adam. And I would not be surprised if Daniel Bryan has an influence in this, and same thing with Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
But yeah, push Cesaro. Push Cesaro. Really good match with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. So then we get Big E on the stage doing the intro stage entrance for the New Day, which was really nice. And then we got the next match on night one, Raw Tag Team title match, the New Day of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus AJ Styles and El Mas, or as as you would call him, Big Jordan, for the Raw Tag Team Worthless Championships.
Yeah, irrelevant, uninteresting, unprestigious pieces of shit tag team championships.
a fucking roll of pennies is worth more than those Raw Tag Team titles.
An
That's
empty
how
cup
worth
right there. The Raw Tag Team titles are not even more prestigious than an empty cup.
That's how worthless the Raw Tag titles are.
Anybody can legitimately win the Raw Tag Team titles. Even a fucking lion and a tiger can win the Raw Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
And it still wouldn't mean a goddamn thing.
Yeah. So we get Omos in this match in street clothes. We got then so we got Omos in street clothes. Omos tries to start the match, but Woods and Kingston tell Styles to start. So Styles and Kingston start this match. They trade counters and pinfall attempts. We got Styles trying to suplex Kofi, but Kofi countered with a facebuster. Kofi then stares down Omos. Omos is not pleased with this. Is not pleased with this at all. Woods and Kofi beat down Styles. Unicorn Stampede by the New Day. Styles then runs around the ring to try to finally get to Omos to make a tag, but Woods pounces Styles out of the ring. Kingston flattens Styles with the cave-in. And then we get Kofi and Woods continuing their assault. Styles kicks Kofi out of the ring. Styles finally tags in Omos. Well, I think we got Woods on the top rope, right? And Styles is in the middle of the ring, about to get to Omos. Woods jumps off the top. Styles finally tags in Omos. And this was the turning point of this match. This was the turning point of the match. We got Woods looking terrified against Omos. Woods lands in a few leg kicks by Woods does this, but they have no effect whatsoever on Omos. Woods then tries a drop kick, but it doesn't even phase Omos. Kingston dives off the top, but Omos catches him. Omos catches Kingston and flips him inside out by the wrist to Kofi from Omos. Like nothing.
Like nothing. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston got no offense on Big Jordan. They got none.
None whatsoever. Like he grabs Kofi. No Kofi jumps. Kofi gets caught. Kofi grabbed by the wrist. Kofi flipped like nothing.
Yeah, he flipped like nothing. Nothing that the New Day did could stop Big Jordan.
And then Omos crushes Kingston Woods in the corner with some running splashes in the corner from Omos. Almost splits Woods right in half with a rib breaker. Styles then leaps off of Omos' shoulders to hit the phenomenal forearm on Xavier Woods. Then Omos destroys Kofi with a 7-foot high, sky high from Omos onto Kofi. And from Omos onto Kofi by Omos to Kofi. And Omos pins Kofi with his foot on his chest. And Omos and Styles won the Raw Tag Team Championships. Kofi Kingston, a former WWE champion, manhandled. Him and Kofi both manhandled. Legitimately by Omos.
Him and Xavier. Not him and Kofi. Yeah, imagine if there were two Kofi Kingstons in the same match.
Yeah. This is like a handicap. AJ Woods and Kofi Woods and Styles literally did 97% of this match.
And 90% of them. They did 95% of the match. No, 97. No, 90. They did 95 or 99% of the match.
Yeah.
Big Jordan was in it for like the final 2 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
And that was...
Now, this match, it was... Now, almost had some decent presence in this was almost, but the match wasn't really all that good.
No, it was not all that good. Like, what did you expect with a guy like Big Jordan in the match? He's just another big guy.
He held his own, but the match wasn't really all that good, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is what happens. This is what happens when you take the Raw Tag Team titles off of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, and you put them on the New Day, and you have nobody to face the New Day at WrestleMania. So much so that you took AJ Styles from whatever he was gonna do in the mid card, and you put him in a worthless tag team title match because you had no plans for him and no plans for the Raw Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. And you put AJ Styles and Big Jordan in this match.
Yeah. Now AJ Styles now becomes the Grand Slam champion, but
that's the only positive coming out of this.
Yeah.
That's the only positive coming out of this. AJ Styles is now a Grand Slam champion in the WWE.
Exactly. WWE champion, United States champion, Intercontinental champion, and now a Raw Tag Team champion. Now,
yeah,
the Hurt Business of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. So you sacrifice them, and then you sacrifice the New Day to give the Raw Tag Team titles to Omos and AJ Styles. How bad does it look now with Cedric and Shelton?
With Cedric and Shelton,
it was
could have still been
they never should have broke up the Hurt Business. Cedric and Shelton, they never should have took them away from Lashley and MVP. They never should have took them away from Lashley. They never should have split them up. They never should have took them away from Lashley and MVP. And they never should have. And the Raw Tag Team titles, they never should have took them off of Cedric and Shelton. So
Cedric and Shelton.
How bad does it look now? How bad does it look now?
With Cedric and Shelton could have went to this WrestleMania, and you could have had them drop the title to AJ and Big Jordan.
Yeah. Oh, but Cedric and Shelton versus AJ and Omos, the match wouldn't have been good, and I want to see you book that match, and the match would still suck fucking cock, man. Yeah, right.
Well, the New Day in the match against AJ Styles sucked, which is unbelievable. When you have three guys and Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and AJ Styles in the same match, and it sucks.
Yeah. The match wasn't really all that good at all.
Oh, in a span of 4 weeks. In a span of 4 weeks, or 3 weeks rather.
Was it 2 months, a month, less than a month? You killed two tag teams in less than a month.
In a span of 3 weeks,
you sacrificed two teams within less than a fucking month. 2 teams you sacrificed.
And for what? You, especially Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, and all for what? Just to have the New Day on the WrestleMania card? You do realize.
And just for them to drop the titles to AJ Styles and Omos, who I don't even consider a tag team. AJ and Omos, I don't even consider them a tag team. And now look at Raw's tag team division. Now look at the Raw tag division. Go ahead.
What do you do? What do you do with AJ and Jordan now that they're the champions? Who is there for them to face?
Bad Bunny and Damian Priest? No.
No. There is no division for them to even thrive in.
Miz and Morrison, they need to get John Morrison away from the fucking Miz. Lucha House Party of Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado. What have they done? They're too busy making tacos and Titus Catering.
Yeah.
New Day, they've seen their day. Retribution is done, and there's no follow-up with that either.
Yeah.
There are the War Raiders, but Hanson's still injured.
Yeah, Hanson is still hurt. Rowe will still be in catering until his partner is back.
The tag divisions on both shows are not good. The tag divisions on Raw and SmackDown, awful. Just merge the tag divisions. At least on SmackDown, at least with the SmackDown tag division, at least they're trying. Rude and Ziggler. I know Adam makes fun of Dolph Ziggler and Rudels, but you know what? Rude and Ziggler, they've been growing on me a little bit. They know how to work well together as a team.
Oh, they look great together as a tag team. I mean, they've been a tag team for a year and a half now, so they're a legit tag team.
At this point with Rude and Ziggler now, the Mysterios, the same thing.
They've been a legit tag team, the Mysterios. I mean, they're father and son, so how could they not be a legit tag team after all?
The Street Profits are a legit team.
Yeah, they've been together for the last 5 years.
And then you got Otis and Chad Gable.
Still, I don't consider them a real tag team.
Yeah, I agree. Though at least Otis says though Otis says that he'll it's less comedy, I will give him that. But you have 3-4 teams on SmackDown, five whenever Jimmy Uso is ready to come back. He's ready to come back any day now.
Yeah. So legitimately,
you have 3-4-5 tag teams. So you have 3-4 teams on SmackDown, 5 whenever Jimmy Uso comes back with the Usos. So SmackDown tag division, at least 3-4-5 tag teams with the SmackDown tag division. Raw, there's no teams.
There's no teams like. Just look at the talent. And like the Raw, like they have the talent though. Like they have the talent in the tag team division. They do have the talent, but they're just refusing to use them.
Raw just doesn't give a fuck.
They just don't want to use their own tag team division.
There's like 2, 1, 0 teams on Raw. There's 0 teams on Monday Night Raw. There's none.
And one of the two holding the tag team titles, one half of your champions, one of them is not even a real wrestler. It's legitimately AJ Styles as the tag team champion all by himself.
Yeah.
It's legitimately AJ Styles as the tag team champions all by himself.
Yeah. And what are you going to do now? AJ, and now what are you going to do with AJ and Omos as Raw Tag Champions? What are you going to do? Have AJ as a Raw Tag Team Champion challenge for the WWE title? That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. He just won a title. He just won a title recently. Why would you have him challenge for your main title?
That would disrespect the Raw Tag Team division even more.
What do you do? This is legitimately like a handicap matches. Legitimately, if you put AJ and Big Jordan defending the titles against whomever for the tag team titles, it's legitimately going to be a handicap match for the tag team titles. It's going to be a tag team match, but in hindsight, it's a handicap match.
Yeah.
Because Big Jordan is not a real wrestler. He's not that good in the ring. So it's legitimately
the Black Great
AJ
Khali is what I call Omos.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you put AJ Styles and Big Jordan defending their tag team titles against whoever, it is a handicap match. It's legitimately it's a handicap match for the tag team titles. AJ defending the titles by himself.
Legitimately.
And he does 99% of the work.
Yeah, now who beats AJ? Yeah, and now who beats AJ and Omos for those Raw Tag Team titles? Now who?
There's no division. There is no tag team division. There's no tag team division for AJ and Omos to even thrive in.
Just merge the tag team divisions. There's not a lot of tag teams right now. SmackDown, 3, 4, 5 teams. Raw, there's 0. None.
Zero tag teams on Monday Night Raw.
There's legit nobody on Raw. They have talent on Raw. Raw just doesn't care.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable how the creative team works.
And this was the best they had for AJ Styles here, the Raw Tag Team titles. Oh, but AJ Triple H, nobody wants to see that shit, man. Triple H takes the spot away, man. It's a hell of a lot better than AJ with the Raw Tag Team titles.
Even Triple H said that one of his last opponents that he wants to face is AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So give the guy what he wants. Give Triple H what he wants. That's the match against AJ Styles.
No, I don't like these. I don't like the legends taking spot away from Young Talent at WrestleMania. I don't like that, but at least it's a lot better than AJ with the Raw Tag Team titles. I don't want to see legends. I don't want to see legends take spot away, like the legends taking a Young Talent spot away at WrestleMania. I don't want to see that, but at least it's a lot better than AJ with the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Taking spots away from the younger talents. Then what does that say about Shane McMahon?
Oh, but Triple H, I don't want to see him take young spots away, man. I don't want to see him take young spots away, man.
And what does that say about Shane McMahon, who, by the way, is older than Triple H? Or is he older than Triple H? I mean, they're both the same age, but
yeah,
who's older than the other? And Triple H is older than Shane McMahon, right? He's 6 months older than Shane McMahon, and they're both, I think. But still, Shane McMahon is the same age as Triple H, and he's taking a spot away from the younger talent, which we'll talk about later. Shane McMahon and your favorite wrestler of all time, said no one ever.
Yeah.
We'll save that again. You could save that again when we talk about the steel cage match.
Yeah, but the Raw Tag Team title match, AJ and Omos versus New Day, this was not good. This match was not good. Omos held his own, but the match was not good.
Yeah.
The match was not good. Moving on. Steel cage match. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. No one cared about this going into this match, and the crowd reaction for this match Library silence.
It would have been the same thing if this was in an empty arena. Library silence. Braun Strowman came out to no reaction. No reaction.
Shane made his entrance.
What does that
and
tell
Braun
you?
makes his entrance with the train sound effect and then Braun's CFO's music and the smoke. And Braun came out to no reaction.
Well, Shane McMahon, he gets a decent reaction every time he comes into the ring, yeah. Because everybody knows who Shane McMahon is, so he's going to come out to a big reaction. Braun Strowman, he came out to no reaction. What does that tell you about Braun Strowman? It goes to show you that nobody gives a flying fuck about Braun Strowman. And that the guy is dead. And it goes to show you that the guy is dead and will never recover. I mean, the crowd is smart. They're not stupid. They know what's been happening to Braun Strowman in the last few weeks on Monday Night Raw with dispute with Shane McMahon.
Yep.
So if WWE doesn't care about Braun Strowman, if we don't care about Braun Strowman, then the fans who attended WrestleMania Night 1 last night will not care about Braun Strowman. And it showed it last night.
Yep. Exactly. Could not have said it better, Adam. Could not have said it better. So Strowman, he was making his way down to the ring to get inside the cage, and when he was doing so, Elias and Jackson Riker, they attack Strowman from behind. Elias hits Strowman in the knee with the steel chair. Shane hits Strowman with a chair over and over again. Strowman catches the chair and rips it out of Shane's hands. Shane kicks Strowman's back leg and hits him with a chair again. Shane tries to leave the cage, but Strowman stops him. Shane rips a piece of metal off the cage and hits Strowman with it. Strowman fires up and beats down Shane. Shane hits a shitty DDT on Braun Strowman to Shane. Shane also with his shadow punches to Braun. Stupid express. Woo-hoo,
Oh my god. Your impersonations of Braun Strowman never get old.
Oh, I know, bro. I know. Absolutely know, bro. So then Shane goes for a coast to coast on Braun Strowman. Strowman kicks out. Elias and Riker then climb up the cage to help Shane climb out. And then Braun Strowman.
He ran fast. He ran fast during the match. He ran fast.
But wow, man. Wow, I'm shocked. Dude, I am shocked that with a steel cage, you know, Braun Strowman, he runs fast, and that's all Braun does is run fast. I thought he couldn't run fast inside a steel cage in a square circle like steel cage. But somehow, some way, inside a steel cage of all structures, Braun Strowman, even a steel cage, Braun Strowman, he was still able to run fast, man. Wow. I thought he couldn't run fast in a steel cage.
But Braun Strowman as well. Speaking of Braun Strowman, you know that he's stupid, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And towards the end of this, then we'll talk about that. Believe me. So Braun Strowman runs fast in the cage. Go ahead.
Also, I thought that steel cages keep people away from interfering. Said Braun Strowman. I thought that steel cages keep wrestlers away from interfering. Tell me.
Braun is
stupid.
Go ahead.
Dumbass. Stop.
Yeah, so Strowman runs fast in the cage. He jumps in the cage and knocks Elias and Riker to the floor. Shane falls between the cage and the ring. Shane then climbs the cage again and well, Shane had some kind of toolbox, right? He hit Strowman in the head with it. Strowman's knocked down.
Toolbox, I think.
Toolbox. Strowman hitting that with a toolbox from Shane. Strowman knocked down in the middle of the ring in the cage, and Shane almost climbed out. And Shane, oh, but he's the heel man. He could have easily climbed out and escaped quick. He didn't do that.
He's a heel. He had the chance to win this match. You don't realize that there was the ending. Shane McMahon, Braun Strowman was like out cold, and Shane McMahon was going down to the cage.
Now, before we talk about that, then Shane does the bye-bye. Then Strowman cuts him off. And Strowman pops up to his feet, and he grabs Shane's hand. Strowman rips the side of the cage right off the Strowman. Braun Strowman, all he does is run. So Braun Strowman, all he does is two things. Braun Strowman, he runs fast, and he destroys garbage. He destroys shit.
Yeah.
The only two things that
Braun does. That's all he's good. That's all he's good at.
That's all Braun's capable. That's all Braun's capable at doing. Running fast and destroying shit. That's all Braun. Those two things. That's all Braun's good at.
Yeah, that's all he can do. He can't wrestle for shit, and he can't cut promos to save his ass.
Yeah, Braun Strowman. Guy can't wrestle like Braun Strowman. The guy can't wrestle out of a paper bag to save his life.
Yeah.
So Strowman rips open the side of the cage right off the Strowman, and he pulls Shane back in the ring when Shane had the chance moments ago to quickly escape.
Yeah, he could have just said goodbye, and then he could have let his hands off of the cage. He could have let his hands off of the cage, and then he lets his legs drop the floor.
Yeah.
To win this match. I guess Shane McMahon is just as dumb as Braun Strowman in that instance.
But
we'll talk about that as well.
But maybe Braun is more stupid than Shane because Strowman pulls Shane to the top of the cage. Both men are standing on the top of the cage. Strowman launches Shane off the top of the cage. Shane's body bounces off the mat with a sickening thud right off the top of the cage to Shane. Shane goes flying back into the cage in the middle of the ring to Shane. To Shane McMahon by Braun Strowman. And then so then after this, so then after this happened to Shane, Braun could have easily escaped the cage after this. But no, what does Braun do? He acts dumb, and Braun decides to not escape. He gets back in the cage, power slams Shane. 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman defeats Shane McMahon in the steel cage match. What do you want me to say?
This match, man.
This match. Did
you care? Did you care? Did anyone care in the crowd?
The Tampa crowd certainly didn't care either.
They did not even react outside of one thing, and that was Shane McMahon being tossed from the top of the cage into the ring. That's the only time they reacted in the match. The rest, they didn't care.
No.
The match sucked. The match.
No one cared for the match going into the match, and no one cared for the match when it happened.
Yeah. Awful.
I'm hoping this is the end of this shit. End it.
I mean, Braun Strowman, he just beat Shane McMahon. He beat him clean in this match. Why continue it?
Now, I thought Shane was going to escape the cage, and I thought Shane was going to win, and they continue this feud. And Braun won clean. Hopefully, this is the end of the feud.
Hopefully. I hope so. Stand it.
And Braun Strowman, man, he could have easily escaped after Shane was tossed off the top of the cage. Braun Strowman
is
looks like he is dumb.
He's stupid. He's clown.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unbelievable. And what did this cage match do for either guy? Did it make did this cage match make anyone look good?
No. And guess what happened? Elias and Riker interfered in the match, as expected. Like, who did not expect that?
I thought Ron said there's no interference in a cage match.
Braun Strowman is truly a dumbass, man.
He's truly
dumb
is Braun Strowman.
And you know what the fucked up thing is? This is what we did not mention earlier. Last year, WrestleMania 36, night 1, Braun Strowman was challenging for the Universal Championship on last year's WrestleMania on night 1 against Bill Goldberg.
Oh.
He won that match for the Universal Champ. Now, Shane McMahon. Yeah, did you hear me?
Yeah, I think, yeah. So what Adam was saying, it's like Goldberg, like Braun Strowman was beating Goldberg last year for the Universal Championship last year at WrestleMania 36 in front of no fans. And Braun was
now
the
next year.
Champion last year. And Braun Strowman, this guy was the Universal Champ last year. Just let that sink in.
Yeah, this is who you booked to be Bill Goldberg last year. A fucking clown. And now I just look next year. And then next year at WrestleMania last night, he came out to no reaction. So what does that say about Braun Strowman? Is he the monster among men? Or who we call...
but Mania 36 was not in front of fans, man. It still would have been the same fucking reaction for Braun Strowman.
It still would have been the same reaction if there were audience. So what does that say about Braun Strowman? Is he the monster among men? Or who we call, and many people call, the smart ones call, simply a failure. The worst Universal Champion of all time. And the worst world champion outside of Jinder Mahal and the Great Khali in WWE history. This man, Braun Strowman, is a fucking waste. A waste.
A waste of payroll, a waste of roster space.
Yeah. Waste of money.
And in fact, him on any show makes that show he's on that much worse.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better as well.
Moving on, though. We then get Bayley.
I hope to God.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Before that, and I hope to God, what they should not be done, what they should not be doing after WrestleMania is exactly what I think. Is that Braun Strowman will show up on Monday Night Raw next Monday and challenge Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. I hope this doesn't happen. I hope that you do realize that they've been doing the storyline with Braun Strowman wanting a WWE title match.
I hope not. That would
Should they relive that next Monday? I hope not. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley.
Didn't they fight on Raw weeks ago, the week before Lashley won the title?
Yeah. And guess what happened? Braun Strowman was squashed.
Clean.
Braun was squashed.
Strowman lost clean to Lashley.
Oh my God. Just imagine if they relive that. Imagine if Braun Strowman comes out on Raw and says he wants a title match. I hope not.
I hope not.
No one wants to see that. You want how to make Bobby Lashley's title reign terrible. That's what you do. You put Braun Strowman in the title match, in the title picture against Lashley. When nobody gives a fuck about Braun Strowman.
Nobody.
Moving on.
Yeah. So then we get Bayley invading the commentary desk and sets up the 2020 Hall of Fame video package. They have NWO on the stage with them inducted the 2020 Hall of Fame, which they were supposed to get, which NWO last year, they were supposed to get inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, but then COVID hit last year, and then had the Bella twins on the stage, who are not Hall of Famers, by the way.
They're not. They will never be. Well, they are in it, but in our eyes, they're not.
Exactly. Then they had British. Then they showed British Bulldog in the Hall of Fame 2020. That was nice. They had Juice Thunder Liker, yep, and JBL.
Yeah. And the NWO came out because they are the headliners. And Hulk Hogan came out, of course, with the replica NWO World Heavyweight Championship.
The WCW.
Yeah. And they came out because they're the headliners.
So they did that. And then we got Miz and Morrison rapping with their new theme song, Hey, Hey, Hop, Hop to the ring, surrounded by people in bunny costumes.
That was awful.
It was fucking horrendous. If you support this, I swear to God, you have absolute mental issues.
Oh my God. You got two grown men in Miz and Morrison come out singing to Hey Hey, Hop Hop, and you had around 20 people dressing up in bunny costumes, dancing to their music. That was absolutely fucking horrific. That was absolutely fucking terrible.
And every sense of the word.
Can we call for someone's exit immediately? Whoever gave Miz and Morrison, whoever came up with the idea of this entrance for Miz and Morrison,
whoever supports this.
And whoever supports this trash need to go to the Black Gate, where Batman takes the asylum to. Yeah, you know the Black Gate where the asylums are in. When Batman takes them down, and then he gives them to Jim Gordon, and then the inmates are in the Black Gate. Those should be the inmates who go to the Black Gate and stuck in the Black Gate for the rest of their lives. This should be for the people who supported this trash of Miz and Morrison coming out with bunnies to the ring.
This was awful. This was absolutely atrocious. If you defend this, you need help. Awful. So,
unbelievable.
We had Miz and Morrison making their entrance along with Damian Priest and Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Damian Priest, his entrance, man. Damian Priest.
Yeah.
You want to see a WrestleMania entrance? Look no further than Damian Priest's entrance.
That was freaking great. That was awesome.
Yeah, and Bad Bunny as well. He had an awesome entrance as well as Bad Bunny.
Absolutely. So Priest was trying to start this match with Miz and Morrison, but Miz wanted Bad Bunny to start. Bad Bunny obliges, so Bad Bunny and Miz start this match. Bad Bunny was decking the Miz. The Miz dropped like a sack of bricks. Bad Bunny then lands another jab. Bad Bunny lands a flurry of punches. Miz drives Bad Bunny into the corner. Bad Bunny with double legs on the Miz and rains down more punches. Miz knees Bad Bunny in the gut. Bad Bunny front flips out of an arm drag and lands an arm drag of his own. Drop to hold by Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny ties Miz up in a La Magistral Cradle. Miz kicks out. Miz kicks Bad Bunny in the gut. Bad Bunny surprises Miz with a tornado head scissors. Miz kicks out. Bad Bunny lands a splash in the corner on Morrison. Bad Bunny tries another, but Morrison elbows him out of the air. Elbows him out of the air. Miz and Morrison work over Bad Bunny. Morrison does a spinneroonie to mock Booker T. This is John Morrison, who was at commentary. He's at the commentary desk. Bad Bunny surprises Miz with a tornado DDT. Bad Bunny manages a tag in Damian Priest, and Damian Priest gets the hot tag, and Damian Priest got a real nice pop when Damian Priest got that hot tag.
I'm blind. Yes, I'm blind. Yeah.
So Damian Priest gets the hot tag. He clears the ring. Priest tosses Miz at Morrison. South of Heaven choke slam on the Miz, which looked nice. Miz kicks out. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest hit double Falcon arrows in stereo simultaneously. And they both cover Miz and Morrison, but Miz and Morrison both managed to kick out, and Miz kicks out, with him being the legal man along with Damian Priest in the match. Priest then lands a dive on Miz and Morrison, which looked real nice.
Yeah, that was amazing there. Amazing
Like
spot
almost
there.
like a tope or whatever. Looked really cool.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny then lands a dive of his own. Diving crossbody at the top turnbuckle from Bad Bunny. Miz then counters Priest finisher. Does the Miz with the skull crushing finale, and Bad Bunny breaks up the pin. And I thought this was over here.
Yeah, he breaks up the pinfall. It's Bad Bunny breaks up the skull crushing finale pinfall.
And then on the outside, it's Bad Bunny and John Morrison then on the outside. And Bad Bunny hits a Canadian destroyer on John Morrison on the outside. And Morrison was out after this. This looked freaking cool from Bad Bunny.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was awesome.
Morrison was down and out after that. And Miz sees this. He's absolutely stunned. And then Priest and then Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, they then hit a Doomsday Splash onto the Miz. Bad Bunny pins the Miz. And Bad Bunny and Damian Priest defeat the Miz and John Morrison. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And I've said this before here on the channel. I have. Going into this, I expected this to be really bad with Bad Bunny performing really bad in this match, but I'm not afraid to admit, and I've said this during the channel, I'm not afraid to admit this. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Seriously. Bad Bunny did not look out of place in this match at all. In fact, he performed, this was not as bad as I was expecting it to be. In fact, Bad Bunny did really well in this thing. He did not look out of place at all. If he did, it would have been said almost immediately. Your thoughts?
Man, Bad Bunny, I think we heard the reports that Bad Bunny was training in the Performance Center for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Man, he worked his ass off there in the PC to perform really well at WrestleMania. Yeah, he sure did.
And I will say this: if Bad Bunny and hey, if he wants to do this as a profession, man, he performed well night one. You know. Yeah.
If he wants another match, he could give Vince McMahon another phone call for another match.
Exactly. Yeah. Bad Bunny did not look out of place in this thing at all. If he did, it would have been said almost immediately.
Yeah, and Damian Priest, and the reaction he got after the hot tag, man.
Now you definitely know, and now you can definitely tell that they're really high on Damian Priest.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that that WWE and Vince McMahon, they're definitely high on Damian Priest.
Expect big things for him soon on Monday Night Raw, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully in the future.
After that hot tag, you can tell they're high on him.
Yeah,
I would give Damian Priest, honestly. Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, I expect for big things from Raw. He will be a big star in Raw, mark my words. And I don't trust Raw to do anything. But after the hot tag with Damian Priest, you can tell they're high on Damian Priest. And honestly, Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank this May, I put Damian Priest in the men's Money in the Bank this May, or give Damian Priest the U.S. title, have him beat Matt Riddle or Sheamus for the U.S. title.
Well, I would have him in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I would have him in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
I agree. But your thoughts on this match as a whole, your thoughts on Bad Bunny and Damian Priest and The Miz and Morrison.
Well, Miz and Morrison, who gives a shit about them anyways? Well, Miz did not embarrass
and Miz was pinned by Bad Bunny. The Miz is dead and he'll never recover.
Yeah. Let me remind everybody, though. Let me remind everyone. The Miz was the WWE champion just a month ago. And now a month later, he loses to a rapper clean. Get pinned by a rapper clean at WrestleMania.
How bad does it look now that they took the belt off Drew at the Chamber?
Means to tell us that The Miz all along should have never been WWE champion a month ago.
Drew McIntyre should have never lost that title at the Chamber this past February. McIntyre should have never lost that championship in February.
When The Miz could have failed to cash in, and everything they did after that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, man, they were over as fuck during the match. Damian Priest, you could definitely tell that they're high on him, and he'll be a big star in the future. Miz and Morrison, what do you do with them? You break them up after tonight.
Get Morrison away from the Miz, turn Morrison babyface, and get him away from the fucking Miz.
On Monday Night Raw, next Monday on Raw, they're gonna have to do something about this with Miz and explaining his loss. On Monday Night Raw, they should have the Miz come out and put the finger of blame on John Morrison for his loss at WrestleMania. And this starts the breakup of Miz and Morrison.
And you get Morrison as a babyface away from the Miz with Morrison on his own.
Yeah.
Get John Morrison away from the Miz. He is worth so much more than being paired with the Miz.
Yeah, the Miz is a waste. He's a bump on Monday Night Raw.
The Miz is a scrub on Monday Night Raw. The biggest loser on Monday Night Raw is the Miz since October last year.
Yeah. Even when he was Mr. Money in the Bank, he was being pinned clean every single match that he was in.
Even with the Miz as a two-time Mr. Money in the Bank, the Miz was still a fucking loser.
He was losing every week, losing to Keith Lee, losing to Drew McIntyre, losing to Bobby Lashley, losing to
Sheamus, and Priest, Gwen Metalik, freaking Gwen Metalik on the last Raw of 2020, clean in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes via roll up.
Yeah, clean. He was losing to the New Day, losing to the Hurt Business in matches.
And Bobby Lashley and Damian Priest.
Yeah, he was losing to all of those guys on Monday Night Raw.
Awful. Now he loses to Bad Bunny on night one. The Miz is dead and he will never ever recover. Nothing will save the Miz at this point. Even if the Miz went to AEW, that will not save him.
I moved to SmackDown. Even though he's a USA Network guy, I moved to SmackDown. It's not going to save him.
No. Nothing will save him.
No.
The Miz is just like Braun Strowman at this point, dude. Dead and will never, ever recover.
They will never recover.
This match was not as bad as I was expecting it to be, but Bad Bunny pins the Miz. The Miz is dead. And the Miz was a WWE champion not long ago. Just let that sink in.
Yeah. And after tonight, we could see after tonight, we should be getting the breakup of Miz and Morrison come Monday Night Raw. Damian Priest, you push the guy to the moon.
And go all in with the Damian Priest push and no looking back.
Yeah, you put him in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Go all in and no break. Go all in and no fucking breaking.
Yeah, you put him in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
All in, no fucking hitting the brakes.
Yeah, the man is over with the crowd. He has everything that Vince McMahon wants out of a big guy. You push him to the moon.
Yeah. If they don't push Damian Priest after this, and listen to the reaction, it's just like with Cesaro. Listen to the reaction Damian Priest got. If they don't push, and just like Cesaro, if they don't push Damian Priest, every fucking writer needs to be fucking terminated like that.
Legitimately. You put Damian Priest, you put him in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match next month, and then by 2022, you put him in the WWE title picture.
Yeah. We're not saying give Priest the brief. We're not saying give Damian Priest the briefcase, but put him in the match and start getting behind the guy. Push the guy. Push Damian Priest, just like Cesaro. Yeah,
but the match was fun though, and the winners came out as expected: Bad Bunny and Damian Priest.
Going into the match, I expected this match to be real bad, but the match was not that bad at all. In fact, that match was not as bad as I was expecting it to be.
It was a fun match, though. It was a fun match.
It was,
and the right team won with the result that pretty much everybody expected, with Bad Bunny pretty good.
And just like with Cesaro and his pop, the crowd ate it up with Priest's pop as well.
Yeah. Damian Priest, he's going to be a star in the future. He's a star on the main.
He is. And I think he's only been wrestling for like 3 years, right? I remember this guy in Ring of Honor's Punishment Martinez. He's come a long way.
Yeah, he's come a long way in the business.
And he's from the Bronx in New York City.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a New Yorker.
So yeah.
So then we get, so then we get the main event of WrestleMania 37,
Right.
night number 2, the main event.
Rightful.
Yes. SmackDown Women's Championship match. Sasha Banks defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. Now, before we talk about the match itself, Bianca come out to some good WrestleMania gears. Bianca. Sasha Banks. Whoever does Sasha Banks ring gear does a very good job.
Well, her husband does it. Her husband does every one of her. Yeah, he does every one of her gear. Is her husband.
Because always does a very good job, and this was no different.
Yeah, he's a lucky dude, though. Good on him.
Married to Sasha Banks, can't get better than that.
Yeah, he makes all the Sasha stands look salty. There
makes them jealous for sure, and definitely makes them real salty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Mikaze, how could he?
How could he? What did he do wrong to you guys?
Oh man. Yeah. But Sasha Banks, he also comes out to blue and green hair. Is it a coincidence or not with WWE Peacock?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sasha Banks had blue hair, but had some dyed green hair in her hair as well, did Sasha Banks. Is that a coincidence or not with the Peacock stuff with WWE with Peacock? Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Peacock.
What is Peacock?
What's Peacock? Yeah, I know, right?
Well, how is it a name of a network?
What's Peacock, Adam? I can't even figure out. Cameron, shout out to Cameron and Escobar to the CNE podcast. Shout out to those two guys. Cameron and Escobar, they're even curious too. I even found out they're even curious too they're even curious to know what Peacock really is.
Well, what's Peacock? Is it Vince McMahon's good old piss on NXT talent? Well, what is it? Is it Vince McMahon's right and left testicle that Kevin Dunn and Bruce Pritchard tickle?
Yeah.
And those guys.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man.
But yeah, Sasha Banks, dyed hair of color of, but yeah, Sasha Banks' hair, dyed of the colors blue and green. Is that a coincidence or not? Not a coincidence.
Not a coincidence whatsoever.
But with Sasha Banks's hair being dyed with the color.
What do you want to say?
But yeah,
more to say.
So yeah, Sasha and Bianca, they're in the main event. Michael Cole mentioned 2 black women being in the main event of WrestleMania. So
we need a new Black History Month. You do realize that Black History Month was just 2 months ago.
Yes.
I think we need to call April the new Black History Month for WWE.
I might as well. But
yeah, you got the WWE champion walking out, and he's a black professional wrestler. He walked in and walked out the WWE champion, Bobby Lashley.
Are they finally starting to get behind now as black champions, giving black wrestlers titles? Yeah. Are they finally starting to now get behind that after all these years?
You got Big Jordan, a big black guy, black wrestler.
You got Big E, possibly Apollo Crews. You got Roman, though he's not black, he's Samoan. Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair. You got the Street Profits when they were SmackDown Tag Team Champions. You had what else did you get? Yeah, Bobby Lashley, obviously.
Yeah. Is Vince McMahon finally getting behind black people? Black wrestlers? Because most of the time he doesn't push them because of their skin color.
And Vince asked,
is he now getting behind?
And most of the time Vince would act racist towards black people.
Yeah. Is he finally now getting behind them? I would hope so.
I don't know. And Kofi Kingston even won the WWE title 2 years ago at WrestleMania 35 in New Jersey.
Yeah. So is he now? So we could definitely hope. So we could definitely hope that Vince McMahon is now getting behind black wrestlers.
One could only hope, right? You know?
Yeah, one could only hope. Or hopefully he does know what he has.
Yeah. Now
in the Black Wrestlers.
Yeah. Now Bianca Sasha SmackDown Women's title. This was them in the main event was the right call because didn't Bianca win the Rumble? Now I understand the build's been terrible, but Bianca won the fucking Rumble, and WrestleMania this year was 2 nights. I'm hearing rumors of Mania 38 going back to one night WrestleMania event. I'm hearing WrestleMania 38 is going back to a one night Mania event, which I hope is not the case, but that could always change. But I hope it goes to 2-night event for next year's Mania 38.
It's just a rumor. It's just a rumor. You don't know if it's true or not.
True. It's very true. And it's only a year away.
It's just, yeah. So things could change. Yeah, anything could happen in the WWE, especially in the world of Vince McMahon. He could change his mind more than he could change his own center nut.
Vince McMahon changes his mind more than he changes his own underwear and his own suits and clothing.
Yeah. Legitimately.
But
yeah, Bianca won the Royal Rumble. Why would you not? Why would you not have her win? Why would you not have her be in the main event of WrestleMania? Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. Let's go down. Let's go back to a trip down memory lane. Didn't WrestleMania 36 take place last year in 2 nights? Which matches on which brand was the main event? Those were main evented by Monday Night Raw matches and storylines.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, because WrestleMania 36 last year, 2-night event. That main events of both nights for Mania last year, 36, both were main evented by 2 Raw matches. AJ Styles, a Raw superstar. AJ Styles, Undertaker. That was a Raw program.
Yeah, that was a Monday Night Raw program. AJ Styles and The Undertaker on night 1 that featured Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
With the Boneyard.
Then night 2 featured Drew McIntyre against Brock Lesnar, and then
it was Brock Lesnar. Man. No clown. It was Big Show.
Yeah. The main event of WrestleMania night 2 then was another Monday Night Raw match, another Monday Night Raw storyline between Drew McIntyre against the Big Show. Yes,
but it was the Raw after Mania, man. It wasn't at Mania itself, man. WrestleMania logo.
There was a WrestleMania logo. There was still a Big Show brought in a referee. There was still a WrestleMania logo. There were still commentators. It counts.
It fucking counts. You don't see that with the drive.
If it didn't count, then it would have just been a dark match, not airing.
Exactly. But WrestleMania 36, 2-night event. Both nights were main evented by Raw matches, right? Last year?
Yeah. So there's no reason why the same could not happen to SmackDown. There's no reason why SmackDown couldn't get both WrestleMania main events.
And for night 2 tonight, it's definitely going to be Edge, Roman, and Bryan for main event night 2. No questions asked.
Yeah, no questions asked. No, without question.
If you don't, Edge, Bryan, and Roman, if you don't think they're main eventing night 2, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But Bianca and Sasha, SmackDown Women's title, main event of WrestleMania, night number 2, the WrestleMania 37 night 1 main event. So, the WrestleMania 37 night 1 main event. So, we got Belair and Banks. Belair and Banks are both in tears, right? Both women are in tears.
Yeah.
And they're both trying to fight back those tears as well. And then Banks, at the beginning of this thing, she forces Belair into the corner. Clean break by Banks. Banks takes down Belair. Belair keeps up. Banks tries a sunset flip, but Belair does a backflip and lands on her feet. Belair almost hits the KOD. Banks escapes it. Banks hangs Belair up on the top rope. Belair falls off the apron and onto the floor. So then the referee, he's sticking his head between the middle ropes, right? Does the ref? Sasha runs the ropes and she does a suicide dive on Bianca. But Bianca rolls through, picks up Sasha, does Bianca after rolling through, and Bianca press slams Banks up, walks the steps, still has Banks in a gorilla press position. Press tosses Sasha over the ring post, over the ropes, and back to the ring from Bianca. This was impressive.
Yeah. That was one of the best things that happened on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yep. So then Bianca then holds Sasha in the air. She walks up the steps and dumps her back in the ring. Belair does squats before slamming Banks. There was one spot Belair did a vertical suplex, does like a slingshot to Sasha, two sides of the ropes. And there was 2 points I thought Bianca was going to drop her, but did a vertical suplex onto Sasha nonetheless after a long position in the vertical suplex to Sasha. Imagine being Sasha and the blood is rushing through your brain.
Yeah.
On Sasha. So Bianca does some squats before slamming Sasha by Bianca. Bianca tries a handspring, but Banks pulls Belair by the hair braid. And the hair braid was actually the story of this match as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, yes, it was.
So then we get knee strike from Sasha. Sasha blasts Belair with the Shining Wizard. Belair kicks out. Sasha tries send Belair into the turnbuckle, but Belair turns it into a spine buster. Does Bianca. Banks tries to pull Bianca into the ring post by the hair. Belair overpowers Banks and sends her into the ring post. Banks then tries running knee strike on the outside barricade, but Belair moves out of the way, and Banks and her knees just crash hard right into the barricade, which looked like it sucked.
Yeah, looked nasty there.
Yep. Then Bianca picks Sasha up for a suplex. Belair bounces Banks off the ropes. Banks tries to punch right out of the suplexes, but Belair refuses to let go. Belair struggles, suplexes Sasha. Glam slam by Bianca. Bianca then tries a 450 splash, but Banks gets the knees up. Banks knees Belair in the face. Go ahead.
Oh, well, Sasha got her knees up when Bianca tried to do the 450.
Yeah. Then Banks tries a Hurricane Rana, but Belair reverses it into a double powerbomb. Powerbomb 1, picks Sasha up again. Powerbomb again. Belair tries a third, but Banks turns it into a face buster. Banks stomps Belair in the corner, but Banks hits a double springboard tornado TD from Sasha. This which looked real good. Nice tornado DDT from Sasha. Sasha one of the best, if not one of the best women in the world.
Yeah.
She's that freaking good. Sasha then hits a frog splash. Nice little tribute out to Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Banks hits a frog splash. Belair kicks out. Sasha tosses Bianca into the ring steps. Banks puts Bianca in the rings of Saturn using Belair's hair with the bank statement. Banks transitions into the bank statement. Belair manages to roll to the ropes, and I thought this was over here. Belair managed to get to the bottom rope to force a rope break. Banks refuses. Banks uses the full 5 count. Banks mocks Belair, calling her a rookie. Belair pushes Banks into the corner. Belair misses a handspring kick. Banks traps Belair in a tree of woe. Banks misses a meteor but tries a running knee strike. Belair moves out of the way. Sasha hits her. Sasha hits her knees right in the turnbuckles. It looked like it sucked.
Yeah.
Sasha and her knees running right into the turnbuckles, which like it sucked to Sasha. And then Bianca hits a 450 and then Bianca goes for a 450 second time. This time Bianca hits the 450. Banks kicks out, and Belair is just screaming in disbelief. Banks then tries to use Belair's hair against her, but Belair, and this was the turning point. Both ladies are trying to go for Bianca's hair braid. Sasha tries to go for it. Bianca's like, pulls it away from Sasha. hair whip from Bianca, and you could absolutely hear that throughout the entire Raymond James Stadium. Holy shit, you could so fucking hear that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse, Walter's chop or Bianca's hair whip.
Yeah.
And after this match, you could see the mark on Sasha's right side of her body from that hair whip from Bianca Belair. That looked, oh my God.
That looked nasty.
Wow. You could absolutely hear that hair whip throughout the whole entire Raymond James Stadium. So Belair whips Banks with their hair braid so hard it sounded like a gunshot went off. Belair is all pissed and livid. Is Bianca Belair. She deadlifts Banks off her feet. Now, Bianca was then going for the KOD. Sasha tries Sasha reverse. Then both women try to go round and round. Bianca then hits the KOD. 1, 2, 3. In the EST, Bianca Belair. She defeats Sasha Banks, and Bianca Belair is now your new SmackDown Women's Champion. Bianca Belair is now the new
There was a botch, though, in the commentary.
Champion. Go ahead. Now, Michael Cole said, then Michael Cole is like, Sasha kicked out, and like, no, it had to be corrected. And Bianca won the match in the championship. So Bianca wins the SmackDown Women's title. The pyro goes off, and the crowd goes home happy. And then that's the end of WrestleMania 37, night number 1. Was the match good? Yes, it was.
Yeah. Well, was it the rightful main event? It was always the rightful main event.
Lashley, didn't I say Lashley McIntyre was mid-card at best? Now imagine if they would have gave Lashley McIntyre this main event. Imagine if they did that.
Drew McIntyre, if he won the WWE title in the main event, he would have been booed out of the building.
Yeah,
he would have been booed.
Lashley would have been cheered, and McIntyre would have been booed right out of Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah, he would have been booed if he won the WWE title. And then when he shows up on Monday Night Raw, I'm pretty sure they would have edited this out.
Yep.
They would edit the pipe noise when the people at home actually are booing the guy.
Come on, bro. You don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want Drew McIntyre to get heat for the wrong reasons, for something that is not. You don't
want Drew McIntyre to get Roman Reigns heat from 2015 to 2018. You don't want that.
You don't want that. And Drew McIntyre, he said it himself that he wants to open WrestleMania. He said it himself.
Good thing Drew opened his mouth about that.
Yeah. Yeah, good thing that he stood up to Vince and told him what should happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, I want to talk about the outcome of this match. I do. And we said this at the end of the show of night 1 last night for WrestleMania 37.
Yeah, when we called each other. Yeah, when we called each other last night.
Watching the show live together. Now, I know some people, DJ Storms, shout out to DJ Storms. Hope you're doing all right, brother, and hope you're doing all right, and hope you're doing okay. Shout out to you, DJ Storms, brother. Shout out to you, DJ Storms. He said before, if Bianca doesn't win the title here, she'll never win, period. And you know what? And I know some people say, have Sasha retain, the reign's not been all that good, and Bianca's not ready yet. You know what? I know it's like people are entitled to their opinions, but you know what? I have to be on DJ Storm's side for this. I have to.
First of all, even before that, Bianca Belair just won the Royal Rumble. Why would you not give her the title at WrestleMania?
Look, now look. Listen to me, and I'm going to be upfront and honest with you, and hear me out on this. Seriously.
You could say.
Look, I understand where you're coming from with Sasha's her SmackDown title not really being all that good and only facing Carmella and such. Look, I understand where you're coming from. Look, I get where you're coming from. I do. But look at her Raw Women's title reigns. All less than 30 days, and she lost in her first defense. At least with the SmackDown Women's title, yeah, it's no better, but at least she defended it fucking once successfully, at least fucking once. And at least it's been way over 30 days with Sasha Banks as SmackDown Women's Champion. At least all of that.
At least she held the title over 100.
Yeah. And yeah, and look, I know you said it's like Bianca's not ready and Sasha should retain. Yes, I understand that. Believe me, I know what you're trying to say, and I'm listening to you guys. I know where you guys are coming from. Believe me, I don't know if you believe me when I say that or not, but believe me, I know where you're coming from, and I understand what all of you guys are saying with Sasha should retain and Bianca's not ready yet. Look, I get that. I know where you guys are coming from. I do. But now listen, but it's like you either give Bianca the title now or she never wins it, period.
You gave her the Royal Rumble. You gave her the Rumble win.
Now, I would have given Bayley the Rumble this past January, to be honest with you. But if you were going to go with Bianca, you got to strike while the iron is hot.
Everybody wants Bianca to be champion. So how do you have Bianca win the Rumble, only then to lose at WrestleMania?
That would have been a waste of time.
Clean or dirty. Whether it's clean or it's dirty.
Whether Bianca would have lost clean or dirty.
Yeah.
Now, if Sasha would have cheated, then it would have been okay with it. But now it's like with the women's Rumble this past January. Honestly, I would have given it to Bayley. But if you were gonna go, if you were gonna go with her, you have to strike while the iron is hot. If you give someone the Rumble that's not Bayley, you have to strike while the iron is hot. Because if you don't, who will care?
Yeah.
And do you trust them? And if Sasha would have won clean, do you trust them with Bianca? If Sasha would have retained clean.
If this would have been the same thing.
If Sasha would have retained clean, it would have been done. Bianca would have had to rebuild herself up. If Sasha would have retained here, it would have been over. And it's like you give Bianca the Rumble and have her lose. That's a waste. It's a waste. You either give Bianca the title now or never. Period. And it's like like with the women's Rumble this past January, I would have given Bayley the thing. But if you were gonna go with Bianca, you have to strike while the iron is hot. Because if you don't, who will care?
Bianca would have ended up the same way Braun Strowman ended up 3 years ago.
Like with Braun Strowman, that ship sailed. You want that same thing to happen to Bianca? You want Bianca to be a female Braun Strowman? Now, Bianca Belair, much better wrestler than Braun Strowman, but do you want that to happen to Bianca? Come on now.
Well, just look what happened to Braun Strowman. Look what happened to
that ship sailed with Braun Strowman. No Mercy 2017. Universal title, Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman. They should have gave Strowman the Universal title there. And did they do it? Did they strike while the iron was hot with Strowman at the time? Absolutely not.
Elimination Chamber 2018, when Braun Strowman eliminated every single competitor in the chamber. What did they do with him in the match?
They had him all the field only to get fed to Roman.
Yeah.
And when
they gave him the money to beg business.
Yeah, and then they turned Strowman heel with the Roman agenda. They kill all of Braun's momentum. Then Roman goes down with leukemia, unfortunately. And then they quickly turned Strowman babyface, and then he was never the same guy. And then he had Crown Jewel 2018 Universal Championship, vacant Universal title match. Lesnar versus Strowman again, and Lesnar beats Strowman again. But this time Lesnar beats Strowman with 5 F5s.
Yeah.
No Mercy 2017. Lesnar beats Strowman with 1 F5. Crown Jewel 2018. No Mercy 2017. Crown Jewel 2018. Lesnar beats Strowman again, but this time with 5 F5s.
And Braun Strowman was never the same again.
And then late 2018, and then after Crown Jewel 2018, Braun was never the same.
And then when they gave Braun Strowman the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 36, who the fuck cared? Nobody.
Absolutely nobody.
They gave him the Universal title.
That ship sailed with Braun Strowman.
Yeah, they gave Braun Strowman the Universal title at WrestleMania 36, but the damage was completely already done.
Yeah.
And then what did they do with Braun Strowman when they gave him the Universal title? One of the worst world title reigns in the history of World Wrestling Entertainment.
So much so, Braun Strowman, when he was Universal Champion last year, what was one of the ratings he brought last year?
For SmackDown? 1.777.
You want Bianca to be in that same fucking position?
You want to say
if not worse than Strowman?
Yeah, you want her to lose at WrestleMania, then get buried for 3 years, failing to win the title multiple times, and then when she wins the title and nobody cares, you book her to be one of the worst booked women's champions ever, to the point where she loses the title to someone like Charlotte and Nia Jax?
Come on, bro, you don't want that.
To happen? This would have been the same situation.
Do you really want Bianca to be a female Braun Strowman? You don't want that. Come on.
And be booked just as bad as Strowman? If she lost at WrestleMania, Strowman lost to No Mercy at Crown Jewel?
Yeah. Braun Strowman, it was 3 years too. Braun Strowman, it was 3 years too late with him. You want the same thing with Bianca?
Yeah. You want the same thing to happen. No, nobody wants that to happen. Nobody wants that to happen.
No, not at all.
There'll be a fucking explosion on Twitter for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Now, and it's like, I know some people, oh, Sasha should have retained, and I understand making new stars, but Sasha should have retained.
But first of all,
I understand where you're coming from. I do. But go ahead.
Oh, first of all, and second of all, what was Bianca doing for her entire main roster run for a year before this? What was she
there was
doing?
actually even a thing on Ringside News as well.
After the Bell, I think. She was on After the Bell. Bianca Belair was on After the Bell with Corey Graves, and she said that she was frustrated when she got called up from NXT to Monday Night Raw. She literally said that.
Before the draft.
She literally explained that on After the Bell. Yeah, she was not being used on Monday Night Raw. She was in catering along with Shayna Baszler and Aleister Black and the War Raiders on Monday Night Raw, not being used, while she sees the fucking Big Show and Christian and Charlotte get more segments and more TV time than her. And she was not used on Monday Night Raw after
and now
being
Big Show and Christian are now in AEW.
And the only times they used Bianca on Monday Night Raw was when she was with her husband, Montez Ford, and teaming up with the Street Profits against Zelina Vega and Andrade Cien Almas, Austin Theory and Angel Garza. And they used her to team up with the Riot Squad and Asuka in 6 women tags and 8 women tags. That's all they did with her on Monday Night Raw. And they had her do sprint segments on Monday Night Raw. To the appeases and to the happiness of no one.
Awful. That's how inept and that's how careless Vince McMahon is, and that's how inept and that's how careless Bruce Pritchard is, and that's how inept and that's how careless Kevin Dunn is, and that's how inept and that's how careless the Raw creative team is.
Yeah. What they should have done before Bianca got called up, they should have added her to the NXT Women's title match with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, which was the original plan to happen. They should have had Bianca win the NXT Women's title, and at least which it's much better than giving Charlotte the NXT Women's title, and then have Bianca lose the title to Io Shirai at TakeOver 30, and then you call her up, and you call Bianca up on the SmackDown after SummerSlam to confront Bayley and Sasha Banks when they were
or have Bianca have her last NXT match, or you could have Bianca have her last NXT match at TakeOver 31, then have the 2020 draft last October, night 1 on SmackDown, have Bianca get drafted from NXT to SmackDown. They still could have done that.
Yeah,
for Bianca getting drafted from NXT to SmackDown, you could have still done that.
Yeah, or she could have went to SmackDown on the SmackDown after SummerSlam, confronting both Bayley and Sasha when they were still the Women's Tag Team Champions, and when Bayley was still the SmackDown Women's Champion. And Bianca confronts Bayley, and you could have set up your next feud for the title between Bianca and Bayley. Bayley's the heel. She's the heel champion, and Bianca Belair wants to be that woman that takes out the heel, Bayley, and she wins the championship. Or you could have had Bianca lose the NXT Women's title, lose at TakeOver 31, and you debut her on the main roster at the Royal Rumble at number 30.
Yeah. Easily.
You could have done that. You could have had Bayley be in the final 2, and then Bianca debuts on the main roster at number 30 at the Royal Rumble as this big surprise. because you know the Royal Rumble is all about surprises. You have Bianca debut on the main roster at the Royal Rumble this year at number 30, and you have her and Bayley at the final two, or whomever at the final two with Bianca, and you have her win the Royal Rumble. You could have still done that.
Yep.
And then you could have made up a storyline between Bianca and Bayley, since Bayley was in the final two with Bianca. And you have Bayley be furious and say that she did not, she wasn't ready to face Bianca because Bianca was the one at number 30, and Bayley had to last all that time. And you have Bayley and Bianca face off after the Royal Rumble, and you have Bianca beat Bayley. And you could have still done, and you build up Bianca properly for WrestleMania against Sasha Banks, and you could still give Bianca the title.
Yeah.
You know?
Could easily done that. But no, you had her on Raw sitting in fucking catering for months until the 2020 draft last October. All it took was a draft to SmackDown to finally use her. Is it not, or is it not a coincidence?
Or all it took was for Bianca to be the last remaining female wrestler for SmackDown at the Survivor Series to be taken seriously on the main roster.
Yeah, that too.
Legitimately.
And this woman was on Raw. You couldn't even use her.
But you wanted to use Charlotte and Nia Jax against Asuka.
Awful.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely fucking terrible.
It's unbelievable how the creative works on Monday. Yeah, it's unbelievable how the creative works on Monday Night Raw. Unbelievable.
Absolutely fucking god awful.
And when I say unbelievable, and Monday Night Raw, it's not for the right reasons.
No. Not at all. But I understand people's concerns about Sasha, and I know some people are saying that Sasha should have retained, and I understand making new stars, but Sasha should have retained. Look, I understand what you saying that, but it's either you pull the trigger now on Bianca or you never. It's like remember WrestleMania 34 with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura with the WWE Championship. Nakamura won the 2018 Men's Royal Rumble, right? What happened with Nakamura at Mania 34? What happened?
And everyone thought that Nakamura was going to win the title. Everyone thought Nakamura was going to be the champion.
Wow. I thought Shinsuke was winning the title at Mania 34. Nakamura should have won, though. But Nakamura should have won, but what happened?
He lost.
Clean.
And what did he do? And then what did he do after WrestleMania? He became a loser. Or even became a bigger loser. Still, he was a bigger loser than he was 8 months ago before that. Because if you remember 8 months ago before WrestleMania 37, what happened to Nakamura?
Jinder Mahal.
He was losing to Jinder Mahal twice.
A failure. Jinder, by the way, with Jinder Mahal, which, by the way, he's a former WWE champion, by the way, who killed SmackDown 4 years ago.
Yeah, he was losing to Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. He was racially abused in racist promos and poke jokes by Jinder Mahal.
Pikachu jokes and memes jokes against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. Awful.
Shinsuke should have beat Jinder for the WWE title 4 years ago. Shinsuke should have beat him.
Yeah, and AJ Styles should have won the Royal Rumble, and he should have been the one to challenge Nakamura in the main event of WrestleMania 34.
Yep. And 4 years ago, 2017 on SmackDown Live for the WWE title. Shinsuke should have beat Jinder, and then AJ should have won the 2018 Men's Royal Rumble. You then should have given that. You then should have given that to AJ Styles, and AJ wins the title from Shinsuke at Mania 34. And then after the match, Shinsuke turns heel, and then that would have been a lot better.
Yeah. You really want Bianca to lose to Sasha at WrestleMania and then end up like Shinsuke Nakamura or end up like Braun Strowman? You really want that to happen? It was either give Bianca the title now,
or never pull the trigger on her ever.
Yeah.
I understand people's concerns, but that's just our opinion.
And I know some, and we know Sasha is 0-6, and I've seen some photos and some memes that she's 0-6. Like, you don't know what I mean. I mean, look at this.
A reverse Undertaker WrestleMania streak.
Yeah, like look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
That's all. Seriously, whoever made this, I need to give them a head shake. But I don't want to piss anyone off, but I just had to show it here. Just had to.
Yeah.
But Sasha's 0-6. I understand. She's 0-6. That's, if you ask me, that's pathetic for someone like Sasha, but she's not gonna retire. She's not gonna quit the business this early. Come on now.
Oh,
she's
Sasha deserves better. She's 0-6. She needs to go to AEW. She's not going to AEW.
The woman is still
so the
30
people
years
who are
old,
saying, "Oh, Sasha should go to Tony Khan and AEW," stop.
Come on, the woman is not quitting. She's not gonna ask for her release again.
If
she's still 29
and Sasha's that woman that expects the better and the best, but if Sasha, but maybe Sasha wanted to have Bianca go over, it's like, and look at after Bianca won the title. Sasha, I don't know if you caught this on Twitter, she was smiling after Bianca won the championship.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you caught that.
Yeah. So you really think she's that mad? I mean, the woman, like,
Sasha must see something in Bianca.
The woman is 29. And Sasha's still early, she's still young in her career. She's still 29 years old. Sasha's
not selfish, and she doesn't go out there and only put herself over. She's not like Charlotte. She's not like Christian. She's not like Goldberg, who only goes out there and only puts themselves over. Sasha's not like any of them.
Yeah.
Sasha's not like those three at all.
I mean, we understand the fact that she's 0-6, which is a terrible record for WrestleMania, but she could still have a WrestleMania win next year or the year after. Yeah. She still has a lot of time left. She still has a lot of years left in her career. Exactly. She could still get her win at a WrestleMania.
And Sasha and Sasha dropping the title on night one. She would not have done it if she thought that she saw nothing in Bianca.
Yeah. Legitimately.
If Sasha thought something else, she would not have had Bianca. She would not have had Bianca beat her last on night one.
Yeah. She could have went to Vince and she could have come up with another solution on how Sasha could retain the title if she wanted to.
If Sasha didn't see anything in Bianca, Sasha would not have put her over.
Yeah, she could have went to Vince and say, "You know what, boss? I don't think I should lose to Bianca. I don't want to lose to her. I want to go over because I haven't got a WrestleMania win, and I should go out there and be the one that wins."
Or I want my title reign to be better. Or maybe Sasha wanted to put her over because maybe Sasha was like, unless you have, or maybe Sasha was like, I should retain unless you put the belt on Bianca, and unless you have big plans for Bianca as champion. If not, why'd you take the title off me?
Well, hopefully there's big plans. I mean, look at the SmackDown Women's division. There's a lot of competitors there for Bianca to face.
Whether it's Sasha or Bianca one, there's some challenge. There's some challengers there. There's Ruby Riott. There's Liv Morgan. There's Natalya. There's Carmella. There's Bayley.
Yeah, you could still revisit
Bianca and Becky Lynch. She's coming back, and with Becky Lynch coming back soon, and Io Shirai getting called up soon.
Yeah. So there's a lot of women there for Bianca.
And with Ronda coming back soon, I would put Ronda on Raw, and I would put Becky and Io on SmackDown. To be honest.
Yeah.
There's some challengers for Bianca. There are, and also Chelsea Green. I know she got injured last November, but isn't she cleared to come back?
Well, she would have still been wrestling right now if they did not put her in a match where she was not originally planned to win. Or she was originally, but the original plan was for Liv Morgan to win that match.
That was a women's fatal 4-way on SmackDown a few weeks before last year's Survivor Series.
Yeah, Liv Morgan was actually originally planned to win, but they changed it to Chelsea Green, and then they changed back to their old original plan when Chelsea Green got injured.
And she injured her wrist pretty bad, and put her on the shelf. And
Yeah,
it looks like she's ready to come back any day now. And Chelsea Green's not bad in the ring either. She was actually trained by Lance Storm, so she's not bad in the ring.
Yeah, she could come back anytime soon now. She's ready to be cleared. So you got a lot of women there for Bianca.
Sonya Deville, after what happened this past Friday on Sonya Deville, after what happened this past Friday on SmackDown with Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce during SmackDown this past Friday night. So maybe Sonya Deville.
Yeah. I mean, if booked right, if they are given and booked to the best of their ability, you could have challengers for Bianca Belair to face.
Yeah. They just have to play their cards right. And there are some challengers for Bianca. There are some challengers for Bianca. And maybe, maybe Sasha winning, maybe this brings out the inner heel Sasha after Mania.
Yeah.
Where Sasha pretends that she's happy that Bianca beat her, then Sasha just lures her, lures Bianca just right in. And when Bianca least expects it, Sasha stabs her right in the back. And brings out that inner heel NXT Sasha. And Sasha brings out that heel inner NXT Sasha.
Yeah, you could do that next Friday on SmackDown. And Sasha could come up. And what we've seen at the end of WrestleMania Night 1 and the ending of the main event, Sasha could come up with an excuse and say that the reason she lost was because Bianca Belair used her hair against her. And this could give Sasha a rematch for the SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is a win-win situation there. If booked right, if they play their cards right, this could be a win-win situation. So this is not an issue there.
Yeah,
that's not an issue.
And with Bianca now as the new SmackDown Women's Champion, there are challengers.
Yeah, there's at least a division. She at least has a division to thrive in.
Raw, there is no fucking division.
Yeah, well, there is the talent though. There's the talent, but they're all missing.
But Raw just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, but at least with Bianca, she's in a division where she can thrive in, with the better booking, with the right creative.
They just have to play their cards right.
She has a women's division to thrive in and has legit women to face.
Yeah, they just have to play their cards. They just have to play their cards right. They just have to play their cards right, dude.
Yeah, but with the right booking, just like I said, with the right booking, the right creative, Bianca could have some legit challengers and could have a good title reign, which she deserves.
Yeah, and plus with Becky Lynch coming back soon and Io Shirai getting called up, hopefully Io goes to SmackDown and not Raw.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so
and I know also some people, Sasha's buried. She's a loser. She's a jobber.
Come on now, a jobber where she's at her WrestleMania win.
Look, Sasha Bianca, was the match good? Yes, it was. And there are losers and there are losers who look good. Look at The Miz. Talk about a loser. The Miz, that's a loser. That's a jobber. That's buried.
The Miz, Braun Strowman. Those are definitions of losers.
Ricochet, Humberto Carrillo, Angel Garza, Baron Corbin. Those are losers.
Yeah, those
are fucking losers. Retribution, Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy, Shelton Benjamin. Those are losers.
Those are people that lose every single match they're in, and they don't look good. They're all losing.
Kofi and Woods, they got sacrificed on night one. They're losers now.
Yeah, Billy Kay, Tamina,
Lana,
those are
Naomi, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose. Those are losers.
Yeah, those are people that are treated like jobbers and losers on their brains.
Sasha is not a loser. She's not a jobber. She's not buried.
Yeah. So what are you crying at? She's still young in her career. She still has years left. She will eventually have to win a match at WrestleMania. So at some point she'll have to win a match at WrestleMania, but she did not look bad at all with defeat here against Bianca. She could still always have her rematch for the SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah, the match was good and Sasha looked good in defeat. So what are you crying about that? Oh, Sasha's a jobber. She's buried. She's a loser. No, she's not.
Come on now. Like, was the build-up terrible? Yes. But the match redeemed the build-up.
And didn't you say it during the show last night? The only thing that was going to save this build was a good match.
Yeah. If they let both ladies go out and they do what they need to do, this is the only thing this was going to save the storyline.
Exactly.
And after tonight, it should not be one and done. After the main event, it should not be a one and done. Sasha could still have her title rematch. We could still see something between them next Friday on SmackDown.
Yeah, like you said, like you just said, dude, Sasha could always come up with the excuse.
Yeah, that's that. Oh, Bianca you used your hair against me. I want my rematch for the championship. This could still happen. We could see that happen next Friday on SmackDown.
Exactly. So, Sasha and Bianca, a real good match here, and I'm glad with Sasha and Bianca. I'm glad they did not put the handcuffs on these ladies. The one thing going into this match, I was very fearful of that. I thought they were going to put the handcuffs on these ladies, and I'm glad with Sasha and Bianca. I'm glad they were not handcuffed. I'm glad Sasha and Bianca were not handcuffed.
I told you this was, if the match is good, this was the only thing that was going to save this terrible storyline that they had.
And they had the terrible build. They had the terrible build of the women's tag titles with the main roster women's tag titles, and with Reginald, that fucking geek. That Kofi Kingston looked like Reginald.
Who was the main focus of their feud? And then you had Bianca and Sasha challenge for the women's tag team titles for 2 at Elimination Chamber, and then at Fastlane where they lost. Seriously, the Royal Rumble winner and the champion that he/she's facing at WrestleMania should not be losing before pay-per-views for worthless titles that a fucking mouse can win.
And it would mean nothing.
Yeah.
That was awful.
But the storyline and the build-up was terrible. But was this the rightful main event? Absolutely.
Bianca won the Rumble. You're not going to have...
You were not...
And didn't they say at the Rumble this past January, the Rumble winner main events at WrestleMania?
Yeah. You were not going to have Bianca win the Rumble, and then she does it main event WrestleMania. You were not going to have that happen.
That was not going to work that way.
That was not going to work.
But the WWE title is the #1 title in the company, man. When was the last time the WWE title felt relevant? Daniel Bryan, when he was the heel environment gimmick.
#1 title in the company. When was the last time it even felt prestigious?
Daniel Bryan, when he was the heel environment gimmick. That was the very last time the WWE title felt important.
Yeah. #1 title in the company.
With Daniel Bryan.
#1 title in the company. It should main event WrestleMania 37. Are you kidding me? As if WrestleMania 34 did not exist and AJ Styles and Nakamura main evented WrestleMania, right?
Fuck out.
As if Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar main evented WrestleMania 34 did not disrespect the WWE Championship.
It did.
As if Roman Reigns and The Undertaker main eventing WrestleMania 33 over the WWE Championship did not disrespect the WWE title.
Awful.
Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Yeah, but Bianca and Sasha and the SmackDown Women's title match between them was the rightful main event.
Bianca and Sasha main eventing night 1 was absolutely the right call.
Yeah.
Over Lashley and Drew. And I said it during this video. I'm going to say it one more time. Imagine if Lashley and Drew was the main event at night 1. Holy shit, Drew would have been booed right out of... Drew McIntyre would have been booed right out of Raymond James Stadium.
If the WWE Championship was the main event, and if this was the main event for the WWE Championship between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, Drew would have won the title, and he would have been booed out of the building. And before that, people in the match will be leaving before the main event even starts between Lashley and McIntyre.
Speaking of people leaving, I heard on Twitter some people were leaving during the Sasha and Bianca match.
I don't think it's true.
Oh.
I don't think so. If this was Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, then people would be leaving because they will have known the outcome. And Drew would have won the title, and then he would be booed out of Raymond James Stadium by the Tampa Florida fans.
Yeah, that would have been terrible.
So they definitely made the right decision to have the WWE Championship open WrestleMania and have the SmackDown Women's title match in the main event.
Yeah, that was the right call. All that was the right decision.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with that, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with that, I literally don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, but the main event between both ladies was absolutely excellent. This was definitely, if you want to say this, I think maybe you could agree with me or not, but this was Sasha Banks' best match since Hell in a Cell 6 months ago against Bayley.
I would agree. I would have to agree with that. I think it definitely was.
Yeah, which is definitely not surprising. I mean, they did not do anything with her for the SmackDown Women's title with Sasha Banks, and so this is why what we see last night at WrestleMania was her best match since the Hell in a Cell match against Bayley, which Sasha won as well. Yeah, which Sasha won, of course.
Sasha Banks, her best match in 6 months.
Yeah, which is not all that surprising because Bayley is excellent at what she does.
Heel Bayley is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so the main event was excellent. Bianca Belair won, a feel-good moment, and the fans were left happy. Yeah. We could still see the continuation of the storyline, though. We could still see the continuation of the storyline with Bianca and Sasha.
And with Becky Lynch coming back, and since Seth Rollins is on SmackDown, Becky will definitely be on SmackDown since Seth Rollins is on SmackDown, no question. And what if they do Becky and Bianca for the SmackDown Women's title this August at SummerSlam, and then we do Mania 30, and what if we do Ronda and then what if we do Ronda versus Becky or Bianca this November at the Survivor Series, champion versus champion, Raw versus SmackDown, and then we do Io winning and then the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble. You then give that to Io Shirai from SmackDown. Then we do Io Bianca SmackDown Women's title, WrestleMania 38 in Dallas.
Yeah, you could do that. You want to build up stars? That's what you do. You build up Bianca, and you have to win the Rumble, win the SmackDown Women's title. You do that same thing with Io Shirai. Yeah.
Io, Bianca, SmackDown Women's title next year, 2022, in Dallas at WrestleMania 38 at A&T and at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, but the main event
that is what I would do in my opinion.
Yeah, but just like I've said, the main event was definitely the right one, and the babyface won and sent the home happy.
Yeah,
and it was awesome.
It was.
Overall,
Bianca and Sasha was a very good match.
Yeah, with the right main event and the right outcome.
And Sasha looks and the match was good and Sasha looked good in defeat.
Yeah. Sasha looked good
so
in
much
defeat.
So that if you saw on Twitter after Bianca won the title last night, Sasha after Bianca won the title last night on night one, Sasha was caught smiling for Bianca. That should tell you something about Sasha. Sasha's not in it for herself. Sasha doesn't go out there and only put herself over. Sasha's not selfish.
She's in it for everyone in the women's division.
She's in it for the betterment. She wants people to grow and shine. She wants for the betterment of a division. If this was Charlotte, she'd only put herself over, and Charlotte would make Charlotte look good. You think Charlotte would make Bianca look good? Absolutely not.
Now, if this was Charlotte in Sasha's position, Charlotte would have beat Bianca, and Bianca would have been buried for the remainder of her main roster.
Charlotte would have buried Bianca.
Yeah, and Bianca would have been buried for the remainder of her main roster run because Charlotte refused to put her over in the WrestleMania main event.
It would have been Charlotte burying Rhea. It would have been Charlotte burying Rhea at Mania 36 all over again. And you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. That was terrible.
Yeah, but if you
Mania 36
like Sasha,
when Rhea was buried by Charlotte, Rhea should have won at Mania 36. That was terrible when Charlotte buried her.
Yeah, but
Yeah, well, if you put someone like Bailey or if you put someone like Sasha against Bianca, they would make her look good. They would make her look like $1 million.
Even Becky Lynch in there with Bianca Belair. Becky wouldn't go out there and only put herself over.
Yeah.
If it was Charlotte in there, then I would be pissed.
Yeah. Everyone would be pissed.
Because Charlotte Flair is a selfish and spoiled brat.
Yeah.
Charlotte is just like Christian Cage and Bill Goldberg, who are only in it for themselves, who don't care about the business, who are only in it for the almighty fucking dollar, who are only in it for a fucking payday, who are only in it for the fucking money. That's Christian, Charlotte, and Goldberg. They don't care about the business. They're only in it for themselves and the fucking money. That's all they care about.
Well, I don't know about Christian, though. I don't know about Christian, but Goldberg and Charlotte? No.
Well, Christian wanted to sign a contract with WWE, was Christian, but Vince wanted to sign him for an X amount of money. Christian didn't agree to it. So Christian and Vince WWE contract talks, they fell through, and Christian signed with AEW because Tony Khan offered him a lot more money, and Christian signed a contract with AEW.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe he's doing something good in creative, though. But he's also in it for the pay.
I hope Christian's not like Charlotte and Goldberg. I hope not.
No, I don't think he is. I mean, I don't think he is, if I'm honest. Yeah, I don't think he is.
If it's Christian and Kenny Omega, I'm hoping Christian puts him over.
Yeah, but we'll say it all over again. Was Sasha Bianca terrible in the build-up? Yes, the build-up was terrible. But was the match good? Was it great? Yes. Was it the right main event?
Yes,
1,000% out.
Yeah.
And nobody looks bad at all there. Sasha looks good. Bianca looks good. And I will say it all over again. I will say it again. With the right booking, if you build up a legitimate division around Bianca, Bianca could have legitimate women and legit credible build-up women for her to face for the title. And she could have a lengthy title reign, which she deserves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 1,000% I agree with you, Adam. As long as that's that, it should be fine. I mean, I don't trust this company to do anything right. But as long as they play their cards right, you know?
Yeah, as long as they play their cards right with Bianca Belair and her SmackDown Women's title reign, we could be looking at a potential potentially or hopefully one of the best women's title reigns in a long time.
Yeah,
with Bianca Belair.
I understand. And this is the truth. It's all in the follow-up. It is all in the follow-up, but just play your fucking cards right. Don't play favorites. Yeah, get your heads out of your asses and play your fucking cards right.
Yeah. You have someone like Bianca Belair as the SmackDown Women's Champion. You should be using her to the best of her ability.
Exactly. No reason to not use Bianca right as a SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah, there's no. But overall, though, I will say this. Overall, WrestleMania 37, I was going to say 36. Well, I'm sorry. Overall, WrestleMania 37 Night 1 was a good show.
Yeah, going into Night 1, I expect this to be terrible outside of two matches.
Yeah.
Cesaro Rollins and Sasha Bianca. But to be honest, Night 1 for WrestleMania 37, it really wasn't that bad. It was okay. It wasn't that bad. In fact, I thought it was decent.
Well, it was a good show tonight.
It was decent. It was very
good
decent.
A good opening match between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. You got Bad Bunny proving everyone wrong with a great performance.
Yeah.
Cesaro and Seth Rollins and Cesaro killed it.
Cesaro and Rollins was probably match of the night of Night 1, hands down, probably, arguably, in my opinion.
Yeah. AJ Styles is now a Grand Slam champion in the WWE. And we got a great main event.
Yeah.
I got a great main event match.
I think the only bad was the steel cage, the women's tag turmoil, which was awful.
And the Raw tag team title match.
And that was it. But overall, WrestleMania 37 Night 1, to be honest, at the end of the day, I thought it was a decent show for Night 1 for WrestleMania 37. It was a decent show.
Yeah,
especially for a show that was
I
built
wouldn't say great. I thought it was decent.
Yeah, well, good for a show that was only built for 3 weeks after Fast Lame, yeah. But overall, this was a good show. Overall, it was a good show.
It was. Night 2, I'm definitely looking forward to, though.
Yeah.
Night 2 should be pretty good.
WWE, though. You don't underestimate WWE. They can have terrible build-ups.
Oh, you never, ever underestimate them, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, they can have terrible build-ups. Everyone can shit all over the build-ups on pay-per-views, but at the end of the day, they can blow everyone away with a good show.
Exactly. And it happened with Night 1, and it happened with WrestleMania, and it happened with WrestleMania 37, night number 1.
Yeah. Around Night 2, though, should be even better.
Hopefully it is. And that is a wrap, folks, for WrestleMania 37, night number 1 review video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And be sure to follow me on Twitter at FioriNick579. Follow me on Instagram at NicholasFiori2014. And follow me on Facebook at Nicholas.Fiori.31. Add me as a friend on Facebook if you like. The option's always there for you guys. Follow Adam on Twitter. Where can we follow you on Twitter now, Adam?
Well, where can you find me on Twitter? You could find me on Twitter at AdamCarl2005. That's the same thing on Instagram as well. And on Facebook. And you can add me as a friend as well on Facebook.
And be sure to hit the like button on the video as well. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the Fiori Station YouTube channel if you've not done so already, guys. Hit the bell for all notifications. Acknowledge, as you acknowledge the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, acknowledge the all notifications by hitting the bell for all notifications so you get notified. Hit the bell for all notifications, subscribe to the Fiori Station YouTube channel, and hit the like button if you're not done so already. It would be really greatly appreciated, guys. And that is the review, and that is that for the WrestleMania 37 night number 1 review video. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you guys so much for joining me and Adam. Great to have Adam back. Hope you guys enjoyed the video with Adam and I. Hope you guys liked the video, and thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you right here on the channel again for the review video for WrestleMania 37 night number 2. Main event, Roman Reigns, Edge, Daniel Bryan, triple threat match, Universal Championship. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys right here on the channel for the review video for WrestleMania 37 night number 2. See you guys later. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you guys later.